countdown up. Trying to count myself in. I messed up. No. In the stream. Did we start? Oh, crap. I messed it up. Hey. It's Monday night. Welcome to the... Whoa, that's way too loud. Guys, I fired my producer. So I fired my writer. Fired everybody. Welcome to the Dreaded Conservative Show. It's Monday night, kicking the week off right. You know what time it is? Are we live? I think so. Yeah. All right, let me turn this off because that song will copyright me if I play it for too long. All right, welcome to the show. Monday night, kicking the week off right. I clogged up my ear this morning trying to clean out my ear. This is why you don't use Q-tips to clean your ear. Because I was trying to clean it and I clogged it. And now I can't hear out of my right ear. But that's good. Because I got to pick up Floor tonight. And when I'm driving and she's on this side and I can't hear out of this ear, what you talking about? That's amazing. What's up, producer? All right. We got a show today. We have Trump shooting updates. Assassination attempt on the president's life. We have updates. Updates that I'm sure you've heard already, but this is a weekly show. It's not a daily show, so I'll tell you what happened over the week. Apparently, we got a sloped roof. Lots of sloped roof memes. I guess that's the funny thing. Now, Kim Cheeto, I guess, was in Congress today. Like a hearing. Is she not going to step down? What the heck? How is this woman not stepping down? We're going to try to debunk a potential misinformation to make sure that on the right wing, we're not sharing out dumb crap on the right, because that's the left's job. They're the ones who are supposed to be kind of dumb. So we're going to make sure things are real. Fact check, do a little fact checking, maybe a little speculation if we can't figure out the truth about the shooter potentially being a transformer more than meets the eye. I think I have like a robot sound effect. Oh, wait, hold on. Transformers more than meets the eye. Okay. We'll talk about that. Trump documents case thrown out. Take that, Destiny. Destiny said the documents case was the strongest case and the Stormy case was the weakest case. Trump was convicted. He won't be by the time appeals are over, but convicted of 34 felonies with Stormy. Documents thrown out. Documents case thrown out. Speaking of Destiny, we'll talk about Destiny being a disgusting piece of shit on Pierce Morgan. Then, them still want Biden gone was the original plan for today, but as of yesterday, breaking news, he's gone. Biden's out of here. Talk about potential Kamala presidential run. I don't know. You just suck a little D and you get to run for P. Apparently, that's the way it goes. What's up, number one? Matthew B. Wise, C-Sal. Hola, ¿cómo estás usted? I'm working on my Spanish right now. Lots of stuff. RNC, my final thoughts on the RNC. We'll listen to a little bit of the Dana speech and we can't listen to Kid Rock, it'll be copyright, but we'll check out Amber Rose. That was funny. The Hulk, which I haven't even watched his thing yet, but I heard it was good. Some of the highlights, the Trump speech, JD Vance. We'll talk about JD Vance. And that's all for the main story news. And then memes, reels, rapid fire. Speaking of rapid fire, there was a fire in Salt Lake City the other day, right up the mountain. They're shooting lasers at us in Salt Lake City. It's not good. No bueno. I got to work on my Spanish. I got to work on my Espanol. I got to work on the Espanol. Matthew 007. Hola, y'all. Hola, producer. Hola, Matthew. And then for the last segment, we're Bible thumping, baby. We're going to try to answer a question which I know Nada says nobody cares, but I care. You know who cares? I care. I care. I care when there's doctrinal questions in the Bible. I like to go through these questions and try to figure it out for myself and give my thoughts on it and then let you decide for yourself what you think. Just like every doctrinal question. Eventually we got to do was marry a prostitute. But today we're doing was Jesus a stone worker or a woodworker? I didn't want to say was Jesus a carpenter because he was a carpenter, but carpenter, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but was Jesus a stone worker or a woodworker? Which was more likely? And maybe we can even have some nuance. And then we can punch whomever disagrees with us, Josh. That's right. That's right. Because when I've been drinking all night and it's like 12 hours into a stream and we're just talking and hanging out, and all of a sudden everybody wants to debate me, and I don't have my sources on deck, you know? But I know I'm not just pulling stuff out of my excuse me. I know I'm not just pulling stuff out of my butt. I know there's evidence for the things I say. I don't just make stuff up. And I didn't just hear it on the internet. I've looked into this stuff before, but my hard drive, which is my brain, is full, so I forget things. So I have to refresh my memory on things. And that's what I spent yesterday doing. And I basically put like an hour's worth of Bible study together where we can jump around to a bunch of different places and really look at this and figure it out. So theology is important, right? And there could be some nuance to this. So I will leave some room for some nuance. But we'll talk about was Jesus a stone worker or a carpenter at the end of the show. So that's that. And drop the nukes. Let's get into it. The fake nukes are coming. All right, first let's try to debunk some potential misinformation. So this is hold on. Where's my thing? I got too many windows open. This is a picture that was bouncing around on social media. And one of my friends who I know to share a lot of fake news, basically he'll share memes and stuff that are news memes. And I read it and I'm like, I don't think that's true. Like of he shared one of that said Liam Thomas or Leah Thomas, the swimmer guy, had to return all of his medals and quit swimming. And I was like, oh, that's good news. I'll talk about that on Monday's show. And then spent like 2 seconds looking into it. It was like, no, this is not true. They're not taking Leah Thomas's medals. What are you talking about? Now maybe since he posted that, maybe that's changed, but I don't think it has. Anyway, he posted this picture of what is allegedly Matthew Thomas Crooks looking like, what you would expect one of these weirdo people to look like. Type of person that would shoot at the president is the type of person who would diaper snipe your children. Type of person with lip rings. Buff, you have lip rings. Tell me about it. No, that's messed up. We love Buff. But no, I was going to ask. So this is on Twitter. This is allegedly the shooter who got his head bust. And then this is allegedly also the shooter. But when you read through these comments, and this is just on Twitter, so I don't even really use Twitter that much, but I was trying to find this picture on Google and I could not find it anywhere. and I found it on Twitter. But when you read through the comments, oh, it's not letting me see the comments now. I don't know how to work Twitter. I'm not good at Twitter. But when you read through the comments, people were saying that they scanned this photo and they can't find this photo. They can't find other instances of this photo anywhere on the internet when you drop it in Google Photos and stuff. So that makes it seem fishy that it could be him. They look very similar, but then other people have said that they've seen this picture used before for other things. That this is an old picture of just a person, like a stock image type thing. I've seen the pic of that guy looking trans, but I suspect they may be satire. I've never seen this presented as satire. I mean, maybe I just missed the joke. I mean, I thought they were saying this was actually him, but then I saw some of the comments said, "Well, if you look at the shooter when he shot him, he doesn't have any lip rings." Like, well, he could have taken him out. Maybe this was if he was 20 when he got his head bust. Then maybe this is when he was 15 or something, and he's taken the lip rings out. And the lip rings are probably closed up. Or this is just a totally another person. If so, sorry, buddy, for associating you with an assassin. I don't know. You look like you deserve some bullying, though, so we'll let it slide. but anyway, I just wanted to throw this out here. So we gotta make sure, just make sure on things. Just make sure on things so we don't look like the dumb Democrats. All right. That's first. Second, the sloped roof. Oh my God. Slope roof used by Trump rally gunmen had safety factor consideration. Secret Service director. Apparently, Kim Cheadle said at a meeting earlier in the week, and I know everybody's heard about this already. I know I'm late, but it's the Monday night show. We're covering the week. Some people only watch the news once a week on my show. Maybe not, but maybe someday that'll be the case. Did you just assume it's gender? You're right. I shouldn't have done that. Might be I don't know. Is that a neck choker? Yeah, it looked, I don't know, whatever it was, it looked gay. But from the Hill, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle said in an interview that aired Tuesday morning that a sloped roof used by the gunman, we have like a million sloped roof memes. You could thank Stubber one for most of them. We have a lot of sloped roof memes this week. This is like the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my life. Apparently, even though the snipers who shot the shooter were on a very sloped roof, apparently they couldn't put snipers on the other roof because it had a slight slope. It was a slightly sloped roof. There's so many memes for this. This just pushed the Hawk Tua girl out of the running. The damn sloped roof meme. Tuesday morning that a sloped roof used by the gunman who attempted an assassination of former President Trump. Just call him President Trump, please. Last weekend at a rally had safety factor considerations. Quote, that building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. Well, generally, that's where the slope starts. Cheadle said in an interview that aired on ABC's Good Morning America Tuesday morning to the outlet's Pierre Thomas. And so there's a safety quote. And so there's a safety factor that would be considered there that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so the decision was made to secure the building from the inside. Former President Trump faced an assassination attempt Saturday. Okay, we know about that. And they asked her if she will exit her role. She said, I do plan to stay on, Cheadle said. I think she's seeing Congress today, and I hope they get her out.
Yeah, that you have a sloped roof.
Look at this. I wonder if they don't have the let's watch what Fox had to say about it. I don't think they have the audio from her on doing this. So for. That's what I was looking for. We're not going to watch all of
It's
this.
going to prevent you from doing so. Okay, let's go ahead and weigh that out for a moment. So you
Yo,
couldn't have
yo,
put a
step.
patrol car that's locked with the lights on in the parking lot of AG Road to
Bup.
be a deterrent. You couldn't have put someone on the ground to ensure there's no permissible climbing environment.
Did he say drone? Are people saying drones? They don't have freaking drones with freaking lasers on their freaking heads. Dang. Beta. Government. Anyway, I don't think this has the audio, and I just read what she said. There's what she looks like. That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. So there's a safety factor. You wouldn't want to put somebody on a sloped roof. Okay, we're not going to keep watching that. We don't need to keep watching that. We get it. We get it. We get it. From CNN. Hold on. From CNN, Secret Service says it denied Trump. Oh, some more details emerge. Trump's been asking for more Secret Service. RFK wants Secret Service. I don't really care about RFK getting Secret Service. Trump endorses it. Trump says he deserves it, but I don't know. I don't even think nobody's trying to take that guy out, really. I don't think he's that active, that they're trying to take him out. They needed a sterile roof. Yeah, well, they had a sloped roof. They needed a flat roof. They need a roofing team to go up there and solve that. I could have protected that roof. Shoot. I ain't scared of no sloped roof. I cleaned this lady's roof once in the avenue. She had leaves on her roof. She had a crazy sloped roof. And I think I tied a rope. I have a tree climbing harness. I think I put my harness on and I tied myself into like a vent at the top. And I kind of went down on my butt and like laid on it with a push broom and just pushed all the leaves down as I went. Bro, that roof was sloped in a mug. They need to hire me for the Secret Service. For real. How much does Secret Service get paid? Because I can do that. I'm like a sloped roof freaking expert. I love a sloped roof. Anyway, Secret Service from CNN says it denied Trump additional resources in recent years, even as his team complained. Former President Donald Trump's security detail had complained they were not being given enough resources and personnel by the Secret Service over the past 2 years, and the agency acknowledged Saturday it denied some requests. A spokesperson for the Secret Service said in a statement Saturday that the agency has not provided certain resources in the past, but has instead provided other security measures, including from local partners. Partners, what are they, gay? A Secret Service official told CNN that examples of these alternatives include having local sniper teams in place when the Secret Service could not provide their own, or having handheld magnetometer. Magnetometer. That's a fancy way of saying gun sweeper, metal detector. It's basically a fancy way to say metal detector. And other measures established at certain events where larger walk-through magnetometers weren't available. The news comes amid widespread concerns about how the sniper was able to obtain rooftop access roughly 150 meters from Trump's position at an outdoor rally in Butler, Pennsylvania last week. Blah, 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 blah. We know all that. So Trump was trying to get Secret Service resources, and they were denying the boy. Shocker. Who would have thunk it? What a surprise. You mean they were, wow. Quote, in some instances where specific Secret Service specialized units or other resources were not provided, the agency made modifications to ensure the security of the protectee. Anthony Guglielmi, chief of communication for the Secret Service, wrote in a statement. This may include utilizing state or local partners to provide specialized functions or otherwise identifying alternatives to reduce public exposure of a protectee. Okay. What's up, DJ Paul? So they've been requesting it. They weren't getting it. We got to burn through these articles. I got to be out of here by 9. Tight. We got a tight timer. I got to brush my teeth and make my bed so it doesn't look like so I don't got stinky breath, and it doesn't look like a damn man's house anymore. Dang it, guys! I haven't even hugged a woman in like 5 years. If Floor like hugs me, I'm gonna get all like weirded out. I don't know. I think she needs to just don't touch me. Don't touch me. I wonder if she's listening at the airport. She should be in Houston. She should be in Houston right now. But she hasn't messaged me. I told her message me when you get to Houston. I don't know what's going on. Hope the damn plane was all right. Josh, my husband is cracking up with you saying you're amazing on a sloped roof. I know. Well, they need to hire me to the Secret Service. All right. From AP, Secret Service chief noted a zero fail mission. I read this headline. A zero fail mission? Secret Service chief noted a zero fail mission. Quote, after Trump rally, she's facing calls to resign. It seemed to me like it was all a failed mission. What do they mean zero fail? What does that mean? Anybody speak Secret Service language? When Kimberly Cheadle led the Secret Service's operations to safeguard the American president and other dignitaries, she said she would talk to the agents in training about the awesome responsibility, guys, of their job. This agency in the Secret Service has a zero fail mission. This agency and I don't understand what they're saying here. Cheadle, who is now director of the agency, said in 2021 during a Secret Service podcast called Standing Post. They have to come in every day prepared and ready with their game face on. Oh, she's motivational. She's saying the Secret Service has a zero fail mission, meaning basically the Secret Service cannot fail their mission. Well, I guess now they got a one time fail mission. They got a single fail mission. They probably got a lot of failed missions actually. They weren't doing their job with JFK. No, apparently with JFK, that guy, they considered him a hero because he like ran and tried to jump on the back of the car, but he didn't make it in time to save and he would have taken the bullet for Kennedy. But he failed. He did fail. So I guess it's not a zero fail Secret Service. That article's boring. What else do they got? What else we got? What else we got? We got something else from CNN here. Oh, this is funny. So CNN says right-wing media figures blame women in the Secret Service and DEI for security failure in Trump shooting. Yeah, yeah, we do. That's right, we do. What, you got a problem with that? Is it not accurate? Bro, the meme, stubborn one. The meme is so funny. I'm spoiling it, but the meme is so funny where it says, "Women in the Secret Service," or Trump carries women in the Secret Service off the stage after he gets shot, and they dangle by his balls or something like that. They dangle by his huge balls. In the days following the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, the Secret Service charged with securing the Pennsylvania event has faced scrutiny for the extraordinary breach that led to the agency's worst failure in decades. But one narrative has quickly taken hold in parts of the right-wing media ecosystem. The security failure was the result of workforce diversity initiatives and women working as Secret Service agents. Yeah, duh. What are you talking about? Yes. That's why all the planes are falling out of the sky too. I forgot to tell Flora she needs to make sure that she doesn't have any young black women pilots um, on her plane. If she does, she needs to just wait for the next plane. Just take the delay, take the flight delay. You know, turn back, look into that little cockpit. Make sure it ain't Katrina and Shaniqua flying the plane. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Not one bit. There needs to be at least one white male in that cockpit floor, or you're not getting on that plane. Okay. While the the one while the security laps happened outside of the event's hard perimeter at a poorly secured building, roughly 120 to 100 prominent right wing figures have launched misogynistic attacks, blaming the female agents positioned near Trump as well as Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle. The second is she related to Don Cheadle? No, she white. The second woman to hold the top job and an advocate for women to join the force. Figures. Yeah, great idea. Did I just spill coffee on my shirt? No. I'm good. In the seconds after the shots rang out Saturday, male and female agents positioned on stage with Trump sprang into action to protect the former president with their own bodies. But but then he like stands up above all of them. He's taller than all the women. He's like, "Fight! We about to fly this plane. We about to fly this plane, yo." What's they try to destroy the earth. We about to destroy the plane. Yo, 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 we about to fly this plane. You ready? Damn. Flora, do not get on the plane if there are two black women flying it. I won't allow it. I value your life, Flora. She's not even in the chat. I don't know where she's at. She hasn't told me that she arrived at what's it called yet. Anyway, what else do we have? We gotta start going through this faster. No, we got plenty of time. I just want to go look through some of these headlines. Any new information, if you guys want to drop it in the chat, any new information that's come out that I haven't talked about, drop it in the chat. About the shooting. But let's get off of that because I do want to spend some time commentating on Destiny, even though I'm late to the party, as usual. But before we talk about Destiny, hold on. I gotta check my phone because she might message me. She hasn't even seen this message yet. Maybe she's still on the plane. I don't know. No, that wouldn't make sense. She's got like a 14-hour layover in Houston, so she should be there by now. It's hard to back into stuff or hit a curb in a plane, so women might be able to fly them. Yeah, I hear it's like 90% autopilot, but you know, chicks always want to get involved in stuff. They always want to like dilly dally and fiddle with things instead of just letting it be. Always got to fiddle with something. Just leave it on autopilot, Shaniqua. You don't need to touch it. Plus, they got like long nails. What if they got like long nails and they accidentally flip a switch or poke a button or something? Josh, pro tip: wear 2 pairs of underwear for that epic hug tonight. It'll be yours in the chat's little secret. Wear 2 pairs of underwear for that epic hug tonight. Oh. No, that's what I got a waistband for. Her phone is in airplane mode. Ah, that could be it. I hope I forgot to tell her when she gets off the plane, she needs to take her phone out of airplane mode and make sure the time changes because I missed a flight. I got stuck in Houston overnight when I went to Florida because I didn't take my phone off of airplane mode when I got off the plane, so the time never changed. So I thought it was an hour different time than it was. Missed my dang plane. I thought I had plenty of time to go get a beer and some Popeyes chicken. No, I didn't. No, I did not have time to do all that. I had time to run to the next gate is what I had time to do. Instead, I'm dilly-dallying at the airport. Before we go on to the Destiny stuff, let's rub this in Destiny's face, you dumb effing We need Buff. I need Buff to fill in my curse words for me. I'm gonna cuss, guys. Destiny, you dumb fuck. You said I cuss. Sorry, children. If there's kids in the room, sorry, Seasal. Sorry, Seasal's husband. But um, Destiny was saying, "Oh, well, like the documents case is the worst case, but is the best case by far. He's definitely gonna be guilty in the documents case." That kind of sounds like Ben Shapiro, huh? I got to do more of a jaw jab for Destiny. Obviously, obviously, the documents case is the best case. Stormy Daniels case probably get thrown out, but the documents case is gonna go. No, dummy. No, documents case was stupid. It's the Presidential Records Act, dummy. And you're disingenuous because I know you read that on your stream, so you know it's a thing. A federal judge in Florida dismissed the classified documents case against former President Donald Trump. All you got to do is catch a bullet and survive. And oh yeah, Cyber One and BY's got kids too. Sorry, kids, don't say that word. Um, all you got to do is take a bullet and and they'll start dropping all your fraudulent cases. On Monday, siding with defense lawyers who said the special counsel who filed the charges was illegally appointed by the Justice Department. Interesting. AP, interesting. Hours later, special counsel Jack Smith's office said it would appeal the order, which could result in it eventually being overturned by higher court. But for now, at least, the dismissal by U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon brings a stunning and abrupt halt to a criminal case that at the time was widely regarded as the most perilous of all legal threats the Republican former president confronted. Yeah, by dummies. Though the case had long been stalled and the prospect of a trial before the November election already non existent, the judge's order is a significant legal and political victory for Trump as he recovers from a weekend assassination attempt. It was just a weekend assassin. They say it like it's a damn stroll in the park. As Trump recovers from a weekend assassination attempt. Well, he just went out for a casual weekend assassination attempt and prepares to accept the Republican nomination in Milwaukee this week. It's the latest stroke of good fortune in 4 criminal cases Trump has faced. 4? Yeah, Georgia, Florida, New York. What's the 4th one? I thought there was 3. There's the E. Jean Carroll, then there's the Stormy hush money, then there's the documents in Florida, then there's the Georgia election stuff. Okay, yeah. That'll cause major delays, and I think the election one they've given him immunity on that. The E.G. Carroll one, he's got to pay her some money, of course. That was basically, what's that called? Blackmail? Fake blackmail. Georgia one, immune. Florida one, dropped. New York will be appealed. He's not going to jail, Democrats. He's not going to jail. Oh, I'm so happy that all these Democrats that were like, we love Joe Biden. Joe Biden's great. He's an amazing president. Where's Joe Biden at now? Ain't no Joe Biden now. Oh, hold on. She might have just messaged me. Let me check. Oh, she did. I've had 5 delays already on my flight. This is becoming stupid. Well, yeah, that's because we have a retarded transportation thing. The plane companies are all doing DEI hires. How? So maybe she's not going to be here at 10:30. Whoops. 5 delays already on my flight from Houston to Utah? Well, let me see if she's in Houston. Are you in? Part of the people I found in the group I saw. I don't need to do this right now because I'm anyway. Anyway, longer show. Yeah. Well, I guess that just means I can do the late show anyway. Destiny looks like Napoleon Dynamite after skipping 10 showers. How does that even work? All right. Criminal cases. Let's watch Destiny being a scumbag on Pierce Morgan while I see what the heck she's typing.
Again, here's what I think we're all struck by. Your position seems.
Here's Destiny being a scumbag on Pierce Morgan. And this girl. How are you going to end up in Utah by 3 a.m. if you're not even out of Guatemala yet? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Most likely I'll end up in Utah, but I don't even have a flight yet. Then how are you going to end up in Utah by 3 a.m. if you don't even have a flight yet? Anyway, this is private. Don't make no sense. I guess you can't really expect much from airlines in general, but definitely not a Guatemalan airline. 3 a.m. Dang. I'm going to be tired. Give them tots. Just pay an Uber. Yeah, better luck paying an Uber to get here. All right. I might make it a book. What's up, Matthew? I have a super conspiracy theory that I haven't heard anyone think of. It's probably true. I might make it a book. It's pretty nasty. It's probably delayed because reasons. Yeah. Well, I don't know what reasons. It could be lots of reasons. What's your conspiracy theory? You can't just dangle that out in front of us and then hide it. But anyway, I hope Floor's not listening. This girl kind of fine. Okay.
To be that anyone from Donald Trump to his supporters who represents their thinking, their ideology, their political views, that if they are killed by an assassin at a rally, then they deserve what's coming to them. And in your words, them. I mean,
F them.
Understand that to most decent Americans and to decent people around the world, that is incredibly offensive and makes you look like a two-faced hypocrite. Somebody who wants the other side to behave to a certain level of decency, but is himself incapable of displaying it.
The conservatives don't have it in them to have that level of decency.
So why don't you rise to a higher bar? Why don't you yourself show them the promised land, Destiny? Show them the way they should be behaving.
Have been doing it for 8 years. There's nothing to be gained there. So instead, we'll just have a laugh instead. When you're asking for this type of decency, you're saying like they did for Pelosi's husband, like they did for BLM people, like they did for the endless. He didn't die, but he got the crap beat out of him with a hammer, and they made jokes about his gay lover.
The jokes were disgusting. Why can't you say the same thing about the people making mockery of Trump? Why do you join the mob?
It's not just the jokes. It's the underlying substantive analysis as well. It's the lack of responsibility for January 6th. It's the lack of.
Shut up! January 6th was so lame. Shut up. They never mentioned Roseanne Boylan. They only mentioned Ashley Babbitt. But I always say it. I'm always going to make sure I say it. 2 unarmed white women killed by armed black police officers while the country had just got done rioting over George Floyd, Jacob Blake, Ahmaud Arbery, saying white people were just out indiscriminately killing black people. Unarmed black people were just getting killed left and right by white men, white cops. And then 2 white women get killed by black cops, and nothing happens. Nobody gets said about it. Nobody cares. But actually, no, they flip it around, so it's the worst insurrection we've ever seen in American history.
Responsibility for the Gretchen plot. It's the lack of accountability for.
I know he says that he does that because it helped him overcome his lisp when he was in speech therapy as a child. But he's been doing it way worse since he's been on the Adderall. So, who you bullshitting? Who you bullshitting, Destiny?
But by your yardstick,
BLM protesters, George Floyd,
by your yardstick,
for all of these.
But by your yardstick, what the Republicans should do in response is simply say, "Fuck all of them, fuck them all. Who cares?
Pierce, that's what you're not understanding. Pierce, listen to me. This is what you're not understanding. You keep bringing this up to me. Like, well, Destiny, if you
Ah!
Difference between my previous.
Get out of here. I already have Google Fiber. Why would you show me a Google Fiber ad?
keep
going to
playing
do,
back your
and then you
words
say
to
a
you.
thing, but they've done this for 8 years.
Right, so the
They're
other
going to
side
continue
is
to do it.
the other side is horrendous. Therefore, I'm going to be even more horrendous.
Not yet.
So
That's at
That's
the
the
end.
horrendous part about the conservatives isn't just the rhetoric; it's the underlying factual denial of reality. That's the biggest. That's the huge issue. That's the big bad
Let me
part.
bring Charlie. Let me bring Charlie back to respond to that. Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the opposite.
All right, Charlie. We're not trying to hear you. I just want to hear Destiny say, basically, if one of his fans gets shot, he would just laugh at him.
Rooftop unguarded, but how did the gunman know that the rooftop was
What up, Charlie? She got a boy's name, though. That's weird.
unguarded? Why was it that local law enforcement alerted the Secret Service moments before shots were fired?
There it is. There is actually a very good question.
The word is Tekton.
Do you think January 6th? Do you think J6 was a false flag?
Yeah.
I think January 6th, there's a lot of discussions to be had. I think there's a lot of facts that came forward.
Fuck
They're
these
definitely.
guys. I will never give sympathy to this side. These guys are destroying the country. Dude.
Destiny.
There were
Destiny,
agents.
okay,
There were agents.
For a single
There were
thing
agents present. We know for a
But Destiny,
fact.
here's your problem
There
with
were
me.
agents present on January 6th. We saw the tourists.
That's a nice suit, Dave. Anyway, enough of this crap. We get it. He says if one of his fans dies at a Trump rally, then basically he's going to make fun of them the next day on Twitter. And he said some messed up stuff about the Corridone, or the guy that died, Capatore. He said some messed up stuff about him. That dude's jaw seriously looks like someone photoshopped it in. Look how fast the chin giggles. Chin giggles. Jiggles. Wiggle, wiggle. So Destiny's an idiot. Piece of dirt. Trash. Andrew's debating him. He's doing well, I'm not going to plug somebody else's channel right now, but Andrew's debating Destiny eventually. Again, which they haven't done in a long time. I thought Destiny kind of swore off debating Andrew because Andrew's kind of bested him. And I've actually heard Destiny compliment Andrew Wilson on his show. He said he really knows his logic and his philosophy arguments. So, and the meta ethics and all that stuff. What's up, Christ King? He's only being honest. You have to respect a man's honesty. Destiny? What are you smoking? Destiny's honest? I mean, he's being honest that he hates conservatives, yes, but he's not an honest person. He lies constantly, and he knows he's lying. He'll read something that proves him wrong, and then the next day pretend like he never read it. He'll just say, "What are you talking?" Conservatives will or debate him, and he'll be like, "What are you talking about? I've never heard that. You just read it on your stream yesterday. You have a really good memory for the things you want to remember." But anyway, meanwhile, the guy that Destiny's been backing and talking about how great of a president he would be, President Biden. Earlier in the week, Joe Biden got COVID. I think he got vaccinated 37 times. That's a joke, YouTube. That's not medical misinformation. That's a joke. And I think he's got COVID 2 or 3 times now. And Biden is isolated in his basement from AP at home as Obama, Pelosi, and other Democrats push for him to reconsider his 2024 race. So earlier in the week, it kept coming. They kept coming. All the Democrats kept saying, "We need you out. We need you out. We need you out." And Joe Biden was strongly drugged up when he went on stage and said he's not leaving the race. He's staying in the race. And Obama was calling for him to leave. Pelosi, Schumer, a lot of senators allegedly were saying that they were going to request that he get out. But he got COVID. And he was hiding in his basement. And I guess during all that, From Axios behind the curtain, top Dems now believe Biden will exit a little later in the week. And then I wake up yesterday, and here's the headline from CNBC. Here's what I woke up to yesterday. Biden drops out of 2024 presidential election, endorses Kamala Harris as Democratic nominee. There's no way she's going to get here by 3 a.m. if she hasn't even left Guatemala yet, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm distracted, guys. Destiny is trying to get his name in a headline or two by having the hottest take, while the other leftists are backpedaling. Yeah, the edgelord. The edgelord. It's kind of disgusting. I don't want these people in America. I don't want these people to be allowed to have weapons. I don't want these people to be able to have free speech, or I think they should be banished to the wilderness. Biden drops out of 2024 presidential election, endorses Kamala Harris as Democratic nominee. President Joe Biden said he will drop out of the 2024 presidential race against the former president, Donald Trump. Biden endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic Party nominee. The stunning move made by the 81-year-old Biden came after weeks of pressure and COVID for him to abandon his White House reelection bid following a poor debate against Donald Trump. He dropped out Sunday. Okay, so, and what did he say it on X? It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. So, I wish I had a clip made of all Joe Biden's greatest fails. Him falling off the bike, him falling down the stairs, him wandering around and getting pulled back by the bunny rabbit on Easter, him talking about the turkeys. What was the thing on Thanksgiving where he told the little brown boy that he could go steal a turkey? He's like, "You can go steal a turkey. I know you want to steal a turkey." like you little damn thief. The kid's like, "Okay, Mr. Biden, please don't touch me." The letter got retconned. I wish we had a clip collage with like Sarah McLachlan singing "In the Arms of the Angel, far away from here." Somebody posted "out with the pee pads, in with the knee pad." That's funny. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more details about my decision, wrote Biden, whose bombshell decision came after a sharp spike in recent days in the number of congressional Democrats publicly calling for him to step aside for another nominee. Here's his letter. You didn't type this letter. Shut up, Joe. Nobody believes that crap. So now we're looking at Kamala Harris. It's not confirmed yet, but a lot of people are coming out to support her, and it's looking likely. Who would be her running mate? We don't know. It's going to be copyright music. We're not going to play that. From Wall Street Journal, Harris gathers donors and support after Biden drops out of race. I think they raised like $47 million last time I checked within a day after Biden announcing that he's dropping out. For Kamala, I guess. Vice President Kamala, this is Wall Street Journal. Vice President Kamala Harris met with campaign staff in Wilmington, Delaware Monday after receiving a wave of endorsements that left her on a glide path to securing the Democratic nomination. President Biden called into the gathering and reflected on exiting the presidential contest, saying it was the right thing to do. Right, he knows all about doing the right thing. Earlier, Harris delivered remarks at the White House in her first public appearance since the Biden dropped his re-election bid and endorsed her. Do we have her talking in this video? I don't think we do. We got to add, though. All right, Wall Street Journal is not going to let me read more. That's fine. So, yeah, and I saved the... Harris for president campaign touts endorsements from Democratic officials. This is CNN live updates. They don't have the headline that I was looking for. Here are the latest Democratic delegate estimates after Biden's withdrawal. It's free to vote for candidates. I wanted to talk about how much money they raised, but the article's not here. How Harris is preparing to contrast her record as a prosecutor with Trump's as a felon. Oh, you're going to try to prosecute Trump? Kamala Harris has spent much of her life as a prosecutor, much more of her life as a prosecutor than as a senator. Kamala or vice president, and that is exactly how she is now going to run against Donald Trump. In sessions quietly underway at the Naval Observatory, even before Joe Biden's disastrous debate, Harris and her inner circle had already landed on the plan to look past whoever Trump picked as his running mate and focus almost exclusively on the former president. Yeah, she was going to debate JD Vance. We have a funny meme about that. What's up, John? It'll probably be the guy from Arizona. Flor says she's still in Guatemala, gave her 5 delays and still no scheduled flights. But then why does she think she's going to be here by 3 a.m.? Doesn't she know? Doesn't she realize that if she doesn't even have a flight scheduled yet, there's no way she's going to be here till like tomorrow afternoon. She has to go outside the airport to get internet connection. What a ghetto airport. That doesn't make no sense. Probably be the guy from Arizona. I don't know. I think it's going to be Kamala. I think it's going to, or you mean her running mate. But yeah, she was supposed to debate JD Vance. And I guess now she's got to debate Trump. Can you imagine? I guess it'll be more entertaining. I don't know what would be more entertaining. Joe Biden versus Trump or Kamala versus Trump. Maybe Kamala will have more energy and she'll just cackle and laugh when she doesn't know the answer to something. But that'll be interesting. Little curveball. A lot of curveballs in this election cycle. Lots of mess. Assassination attempts, charges against Trump. Then we got an old demented guy with COVID dropping out. We got crazy cop Mala, come swallow Harris, jumping in there. It's this is the craziest election in a long time. Joe Biden's the first president to step down as an incumbent since I think Lyndon Baines Johnson, who also was a garbage president, also thankfully stepped down. That's the Model Cities program and the welfare state, all that crap. Thanks, Lyndon Baines Johnson. Thank you for stepping down also. He has 3 names. He might be an assassin. But this one's funny. This is from Reuters. Let me see if Reuters is going to let me read it. Okay, yeah, they are. Cool. With Kamala Harris, Democrats would bet against a U.S. history of sexism and racism. First off, shut up. You guys know that Kamala is your wet dream. She's a woman. She's of color. She's retarded. So she marks all the boxes for diversity, equity, inclusion. She's been oppressed. You know, she can pretend to be Indian and Jamaican, so she can be black and Asian whenever she wants. She can be there for Asian Stop AAIP Hate Month and Black History Month. She could pretend to be gay or a lesbian for Gay History Month. Mental Health Awareness Month. She gets to represent that. You know, she marks all the diversity boxes. So, but this says, with Kamala Harris, Democrats bet against a U.S. history of sexism and racism. Shut up. That shade of blue compliments you, Josh. Well, thank you, sir. I know. This is like baby blue is my favorite. It's my favorite. I like blue. Blue's my favorite color. Except for my politics. I used to never wear red. Thought I was a little crip. But since growing up and not acting like a little gangster anymore. I still like blue, but I also like red. What are they talking about in this article? Let's listen. Let's just watch this.
Converted into a bond, and so we
That's not what I want.
have this.
That's an ad. We're just gonna listen to this from Reuters. Apparently, U.S. has a history of racism and sexism, so Kamala is gonna struggle.
Party will be taking a historic gamble if it turns to Vice President Kamala Harris to become its presidential.
What do you mean? It's going to be the first mentally ill woman of color to be president.
Candidate.
Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America?
It would be betting that a black woman can overcome racism, sexism, and her own missteps as a politician to defeat Republican Donald Trump.
Well, I think that's more important than the racism and the sexism. It could be the fact that she locked up a bunch of black men, and they're not going to like that. Yo, this is going to be the first time we see a massive defeat from the right to the left in the black community votes. Not a Pete Buttigieg. Blue is the best color. Yeah, I do like it. Except for the Democrat Party. I don't know why they get to claim blue. And also, traditionally, red is the color of the commies. So why are the Democrats blue? Why aren't we blue and they're red? They're the damn commie side. Anyway.
Trump. The focus turns to Harris after President Joe Biden, in a historic move, ended his re-election campaign on Sunday as fellow Democrats lost faith in his mental acuity and ability to beat Trump. Minutes later, he endorsed Harris.
Yeah, you should have figured that out way before the debate, guys. This guy pooped his pants on stage like 4 times.
This leaves the presidential race in uncharted territory. In more than 2 centuries of democracy, American voters have elected only one black president and never a woman, a record that makes even some black voters wonder if Harris can crash through the hardest ceiling in U.S. politics.
Well, this here is the one. The most existential, consequential, and important election of our lifetime.
Harris would face other big challenges. If promoted to the top of the ticket, she would have barely 3 months to campaign and unite.
Why do women do that when they say hi? You go hi to everybody. We're all the young Tulsies. We're all the young Tulsies. Why is it an elephant and a donkey? I don't know. Is this a joke? Why is it? I think I've heard that. I think I knew this at one point. Yeah, Google it. I'm not a freaking mathematician.
The party and donor.
I'm not a freaking zoologist. Long story, but you can intuit it if you really look at the symbolism. I would rather be an elephant than a donkey.
Behind her.
Yeah, it is.
Yet many Democrats are excited about her chances. At 59,
oh, hey, girl.
Harris is 2 decades younger than Trump and a leader in the party on abortion rights, an issue which
I hope they don't vote her in just because she's younger and they've been pushing this stupid narrative about age. Oh, it's a bunch of old men running the government. A bunch of old guys running the government. Shut up. Shut up. I'd rather have a sharp 70-year-old man run the government than a dumb 30-year-old bitch. or whatever age Kamala is. 60, 50. So what? You can run farther on a track? Like, who cares? Elephant gang all day.
Which resonates with younger voters and Democrats' progressive base. Proponents argue she would energize those voters, consolidate black support, and bring sharp debating skills to prosecute the political case against the former.
Yeah, but America's racist and sexist. So how is she going to consolidate black support? And she's not even black.
President. In a hypothetical head-to-head matchup, Harris and Trump
old white
were tied
guys.
with
It's always old white guys. Shut up. I'll take an old white guy over a young, Lord knows what Kamala is.
44%.
And she was a slave owner. A literal slave owner. Did you guys know that? Democrats. I don't think there's any Democrats in the chat right now. But you want to pull down statues of dudes that lived 300 years ago because they had some slaves. Kamala had slaves freaking 20 years ago. No, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but her parents had slaves, and I think they still do. Over in Jamaica or India or somewhere. Damn slave owners. Like, if somebody's going to pay reparations, Kamala needs to pay reparations because, like, within her lifetime, her family had slaves. So, none of my family ever had slaves. I don't think my great-grandparents even had slaves. Maybe my great-great-grandparent. Maybe my great-great-great-grandpappy was a slave. How about that? Kamala's global policy is cackle, 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 cackle. Sonny Hostin's ancestry too.
Support each in a July 15th and 16th Reuters Ipsos poll conducted immediately after the assassination attempt against Trump. Trump led Biden 43% to 41% in that same
Kamala Harris, she owned a guy.
poll, though the 2 percentage point difference was within the poll's 3 percentage point mark.
Kamala Harris owned a guy, and Hillary Clinton, well...
Yeah. Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Kamala Harris, she owned a guy. Did you ever own a guy? Okay, I don't want to see Biden. I don't care. All right, so that's all your Biden updates. That's all your Trump updates. We have more... just my final thoughts on the RNC. So I didn't get to do live streams. To review a lot of it. I've been busy the last couple weeks. Norm knew. So, final thoughts on the RNC. It was really good. A lot of good energy. Glad to see Trump back like a day after getting shot. He came up on stage and he sat there through the whole thing. Like, I don't think Biden could sit through one day of the DNC without falling asleep on the stage. Trump was alert, watching the show, standing up when he needed to, clapping when he needed to for 4 days. Sitting there most of the time. So, and to be able to sit and do something like that on a stage and stay alert, pretty impressive. So, like, little kids couldn't do that. A lot of young people wouldn't be able to sit there and just sit and listen to that. They would get bored. I'm bored. And they'd start playing with their phone. Could you imagine for hours and hours a day sitting on a stage in front of a bunch of people and having to stay awake and stay alert and not play with your phone and not dilly-dally? Trump did it. He's an old white guy. But there were some downsides. There were many upsides. I thought Kid Rock was great. I thought Dana White was amazing. Who else? We got to see the new VP, JD Vance. We're just going to look at a political article about 55 things you should know about JD Vance. I'm not going to read through all of them, but we'll do that here in a minute. But there were some misses at the RNC. There were definitely some misses. Now, biggest miss, Amber Rose. And now I'm seeing conservatives saying Amber Rose is beige. She didn't like Trump, but now she likes him because she found out he's not racist. Shut up. No. If you really think that's what happened and you don't think she got paid some money to be a little talking mouthpiece. Come on. Come on. She doesn't know anything about politics. She doesn't know the difference between a Democrat and a Republican. I guarantee you. If I said, what are some platforms? What are the Democratic Party platform? What is the Republican Party platform? She wouldn't know. What are the 3 branches of government? She wouldn't know. What are the 5 rights in the First Amendment? She doesn't know. She has no idea. Say the Pledge of Allegiance. I promise you she can't say the Pledge of Allegiance off the top. So Amber Rose was there. She got all kinds of Omarosa money. Let's watch some of this. Let's listen to this. This is Amber Rose. We're not going to watch the whole thing, I promise you guys. And I think we did watch some of this on a stream earlier in the week.
Hello. My name is Amber Rose.
What the is on your forehead?
Thank you.
Bitch, what the is on your forehead? Yeah, we did watch this earlier. Somebody explained to me that her forehead tattoo says bash and slash. Because she has a kid named Slash and a kid named Sebastian. So it says bash and slash. I thought it said bitch slut or something.
But most importantly, I'm a mother. My whole world revolves around providing for my children, keeping them safe, and giving them an opportunity for a better
Amber,
life.
shut up.
Of being misunderstood, of getting attacked by the left, and I put the red hat on too. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it, RNC. Stop pandering for the dang black vote with a girl with a forehead tattoo. Grow some hair. Something. Take that turtleneck off. You look like a robot. You look like AI. For real. With a forehead tattoo. AI would not get a forehead tattoo. AI would be like, this is probably a bad decision. Backsplash. Why in the hell was Amber there? Nobody knows. But let's see. Let's go from the worst to the best. From the worst to the best, I think. Other than Trump, I think Dana's speech was amazing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dana White. I am the CEO and president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So 2 weeks ago, I got a call from President Trump asking me if I'd be willing to speak tonight. As usual, there was no pressure, no demands. He asked me as a friend, and of course I said yes. Then
I heard that maybe he's about to.
After I accepted his offer,
something came up.
He sent me a text message, and I just want to read to you a little piece of what President Trump wrote to me. Dana, I'm so honored that you will be doing the introduction at the National Republican Convention. Think of it as the biggest fight you ever had, a fight for our country and even the world. I only wish you didn't have to interrupt your family trip, but I hope they understand, they love you, and they know how important this is. Now think about this. This man's running for president of the United States. He's fighting for the future of this country, and he's concerned about interrupting my family trip.
Based.
That's the President Trump that I know. A man who truly cares about people.
What's up, Vengeful Truther? I heard that he was on a family trip, so he almost got pulled away and couldn't do it. But then after Trump got shot, he was like, yeah, I'm going to be there.
The mainstream media likes to push the narrative that he doesn't care about anyone but himself. Absolutely.
Right. She should have wore her MAGA hat on the stage to cover up that stupid tattoo. That's right, Buff.
We know that's not the truth because I've been friends with this guy for 25 years. And for the people who know me, they'll know this is true. I just want to make something very clear.
I'm kind of stressed out right now because I'm supposed to do UVC tomorrow night on Easy's channel with Vigilante at 7 6 or 7 p.m. Times it's in my phone, but Floor's gonna end up getting here right in the middle of that. I promise. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Nobody in the Trump campaign has ever told me what to say. Nobody tells me what to say, and I'm nobody's puppet. And I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what I know. And I know President Trump.
She could have hid the tattoo by staying home. Exactly. That would have been better.
I know President Trump is a fighter. I've been saying this since 2015. Now look at what's happened over the last 10 years.
We'll probably listen to all this because this is a great speech from Dana.
We've all seen it with our own eyes. I'm in the tough guy business, and this man is the toughest, most resilient human being that I've ever met in my life.
Look at this guy with dreadlocks. Gingers are not allowed to have dreadlocks. Who is this guy? I can't really say much because I have dreadlocks, but I don't like it. I don't like this dork having dreadlocks. I don't like it. This is why we're cutting the dreadlocks off. I don't want to be associated with this guy. I'm the dreaded conservative. You can't be the dreaded conservative.
The higher the stakes, the harder he fights, and this guy never, ever gives up. So what's at stake here? The answer is in President Trump's text, and I quote, "A fight for our country." I know why he's running for president again. Why else would he put himself through everything he's dealt with just to get back here? We all know he doesn't need this. This guy's got a great life. He has a beautiful family, and he has achieved everything that you could possibly achieve in life. I know President Trump is literally...
Joe, JD Vance looks like a... We have a meme about that. It's a reptilian. He's in a skin suit. I'm telling you. Or he just has a lot of eye makeup on.
Putting his life on the line for something bigger than himself. And he's willing to risk it all because he loves his country.
Yes.
And I know he wants what's best for the American people. All American people. I know he's running for president to save our American dream. I'm living the American dream, and I know the American dream is very real. Whether you were born in this country or came here from someplace else, this is the last real land of opportunity.
Look at that baby.
President Reagan
with a bow tie. Baby with a bow tie.
First duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. And if you're buried in government red tape, how will you ever start your own business? If you're struggling to pay your bills, how can you ever afford to start a family? And if you don't feel safe in your own town, why would you ever buy a house? I know that President Trump is fighting to save the American...
How can you buy? You can't buy a house right now. Hopefully Trump will fix that.
...dream, and that's what's at stake in this election.
Why would you buy a house? A lot of the old heads are like, you need to buy land. You need to buy a house. I think that's a scam. I think you need to buy a van. Just travel around being a dang vagabond. So they can tax you forever and you never actually own it. Maybe BlackRock will come in and buy it up one day. Or Bill Gates.
We are choosing who we want to lead us in this fight. I know President Trump is a proven leader, a fearless leader, and this country was in a much better place when he was in the Oval Office. In my mind, the choice is clear. But this election, we all get to choose. I know I'm going to choose strength and security. I know I'm going to choose opportunity and prosperity. I know I'm going to choose real American leadership and a real American badass.
Speaking of American badasses, I can't play Kid Rock's thing because it's probably copyright.
I'm not telling you what choice to make, and I'm not telling you what to think.
This is probably copyright, but whatever.
I'm telling you what I know. I know America needs a strong leader, and the world needs a strong America.
face.
Donald J. Trump is the best choice for President of the United States. My fellow Americans, it is my honor to introduce the 45th and soon-to-be 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Let's go. Let's
I just want to make something very clear. Nobody in the Trump...
Dana killed it. Great introduction. Now we're going to go to what Buff says is a fail. I haven't actually watched this, and this isn't the whole thing. This is just a clip from it when he rips his shirt off. But Buff, you know, Buff still got a little bit of liberal left in him. He calls Hulk Hogan racist. I thought he would have figured out by now that there's no such thing as racism, you know, from hanging out around this channel long enough, watching me destroy Jalen in the debate. It's not because Jalen was dumb. It's because it's a dumb argument. Racism isn't real. It's just a made-up idea that people push to sow division. It's not real. Nobody hates somebody because of the color of their skin. No child, it's not inherent. No child has ever recoiled from the hands of a black doctor. It's not a real thing. No white child has been coming out and been like, oh, that's a black doctor, I'm going back in. It's never happened. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. So what? Hulk Hogan said the N-word on the phone a couple times. You've heard me say the N-word before, Buff. Come on now. It's just a word. Nobody cares about that word. It's just Democrats that push this idea that if you use that word, you're a racist. It's stupid. He was angry about something involving his daughter, and he dropped some M-bombs. Buff, you got to let that go, man. You got to let that go. We're going to get you past that, though. Let's see what Hulkster had to say. Just in a clip here. Hulk Hogan on Trumpomania.
You know, even though you guys are real Americans, you better get ready. Because when Donald...
Plus, he looks like Trump. He's got the gold. He's got the blonde hair. He's got the golden tone, the copper tone, the spray tan action going on. You know? Trump's an entertainment guy, fighting guy, been in the fighting bit. It makes perfect sense that Hulk Hogan would be there. I wish Stone Cold Steve Austin was there. But I think he's secretly like a liberal. And he just pretended like he was like a redneck country boy. Or he is a redneck country boy, but he's like one of them old school Democrat redneck country boys, which are weird. But
J. Trump becomes the president of the United States, all the real Americans are going to be nicknamed Trumpites because all the Trumpites are going to be running wild for 4 years. So with the power of
Democrats
Donald
hate
J.
that.
Trump,
He said they're gonna run wild if Trump gets elected. Oh my God. And he apologized, Buff. Why are you mad? Why are you mad, Buff? He apologized. He shouldn't have apologized, but
and all the Trumpites running wild.
I didn't know he apologized. Actually, I don't know why he would apologize. Screw that.
America is going to get back on track, and like Donald J. Trump said, America is going to be great again.
I'm on a big island.
You know, when I look out,
whatever,
and I see all the real Americans, I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised. When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
I don't know what you're talking about, Buff. That's my first time seeing that, and that gave me chills. I thought that was awesome. You're crazy, Buff. He's not racist. All right, and then last but not least, we're going to check out JD Vance, the new vice president-elect. We'll watch a little bit. He did like a 30-minute speech. We're not going to watch all of it. We'll skip through it a little bit. And then we'll look at 55 things you should know about JD Vance from
So
Politico.
tonight, Mr. Chairman, I stand here humbled, and I'm overwhelmed with gratitude.
Bro, he's definitely reptilian or something. That's a skin suit. That's a CIA mask.
Say, I officially accept your nomination to be vice president.
Why are your eyes set so far back in your skull, bro?
Of the United States of America.
I met JD in law school when he was fresh out of Ohio State.
Okay. We don't care about Usha. We don't care what you got to say, Usha.
Which he attended with the support of the GI Bill. We were friends first because, I mean, who wouldn't want to be friends with JD? He was then, as now, the most interesting person I knew. A working class guy who had overcome childhood traumas that I could barely fathom.
All right, Usha. I'm trying to hear what JD got to say. Dang,
To be
how long
free
did
and
Usha
flexible and
talk?
creative was really
Ads. Hold on, let me skip the ad. How long does Usha talk?
A deal
right.
that sent countless good jobs to Mexico. When I was a sophomore in high school, that same career politician named Joe Biden gave China a sweetheart trade deal that destroyed even more good
I'm sorry, Seasal. I'm sorry.
American middle-class manufacturing jobs.
But I think he's wearing eyeliner. For sure.
When I was a senior in high school, that same Joe Biden supported the disastrous invasion of Iraq, and at each step of the way, in small towns like mine in Ohio or next door in Pennsylvania or
You can't see any new chats. If it freezes, just or you just close the chat, just X out of the chat and then reopen it.
Michigan. In states all across our country, jobs were sent overseas and our children were sent to war. And
Joe must go. Joe must go. He gone. All right, JD, we're going to skip ahead, see what JD talked about.
Given them. Joe Biden has been a politician in Washington for longer than I've been alive. 39 years old. Kamala Harris is not much further behind.
He's 39? He's really young for a VP.
For half a century, he's been the champion of every major policy initiative to make America weaker and poorer. And in 4 short years, Donald Trump reversed decades of betrayals inflicted by Joe Biden and the rest of the corrupt Washington insiders.
Guyliner.
He created the greatest economy in history for workers. Really was amazing. There's this chart that shows worker wages, and they stagnated for pretty much my entire life until President Donald J. Trump came along. Workers' wages went through the roof.
I gotta look something up.
And just imagine what he's going to do when we give him 4 more years. He is our once and future President of the United States of America.
Okay, so a nonstop flight from Guatemala City to Houston George Bush International Airport typically takes around 2 hours and 50 minutes. So 3-hour flight to Houston and a 2-hour flight from Houston to Utah. So it's not as long as I'm thinking it is. But the problem is she had like a 14-hour layover. So hopefully her flight being delayed in Guatemala won't affect her flight from Houston to Utah, as long as she just won't have as long as a layover, hopefully. The earliest flight departs at 1:30 a.m. and arrives at 5:25 a.m. So she goes forward in time an hour and then back in time an hour. There's no way she's gonna be here by 3 a.m. The next flight from Guatemala to Houston isn't until 1:30 a.m. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. To be fair, Buff is the angry black man. His eyes really are way back in there, aren't they? Yes. And I don't think the guy liner helps it.
Now, I want to respond to...
All right, that's enough of that. Let's look at 55 things you should know about JD Vance from Politico, just to get a little update. I know he was a Trump hater. I heard he called Trump Hitler at one point. He was a never Trumper in 2016, but I think he's been pretty pro-Trump. More, not as recent as we think. People are saying that he just now switched to being pro-Trump, but I think he's been pro-Trump since like 2020. But let's see what Politico's got to say. Who is JD Vance really? That is the question that has dogged the 39-year-old senator from Ohio. Ohio's great. I would have rather had Jim Jordan along his peculiar path to power, which began in 2016 with the publication of his best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. See, if this guy could write a book, I can write a book. And culminated this week when former President Donald Trump selected him as a running mate for the 2024 election. During those 8 years, Vance has undergone a dramatic and, in the eyes of his critics, highly dubious political transformation from blue-collar bard and self-described never-Trump conservative to hard-edged MAGA loyalist and dogged defender of the former president. Vance says he's had a genuine change of heart about Trump. His critics say he's cynically molded himself to the times. So let's go through some of these things. Number one, I'll be the first to admit that I've accomplished nothing great in my life. Vance wrote in the introduction to Hillbilly Elegy, his best-selling memoir about his life growing up in a working-class family in post-industrial Ohio. I'm not a senator, a governor, or a former cabinet secretary. I haven't started a billion-dollar company or a world-changing nonprofit. So what are your qualifications then? In 2015, 2 years after graduating from Yale Law School, Vance joined Mythill Capital, a venture capital firm run by Silicon Valley scion Peter Thiel. Ooh, that's not good. In 2016, he announced his plans to move back to Ohio from California to start our Ohio Renewal, a nonprofit dedicated to making it easier for disadvantaged children to achieve their dreams. That sounds nice. November 2022, he was elected United States Senate from Ohio with the help of over $10 million in donations from Thiel. It was his first public office. Reflecting on his career with Thiel in 2011, who's this Peter Thiel guy? Venture capital, Silicon Valley. Peter Thiel, Founders Fund, LinkedIn. Steve Jobs, venture capitalist, political activist, co-founder of PayPal, Palantir Technologies. Big media guy, and he's a... JD Vance owes almost everything to Peter Thiel, a pro-Trump billionaire and new right ideologue. Okay. All right. I thought Elon started PayPal. His maternal grandparents, Jim and Bonnie Vance, known as Pawpaw and Mawmaw, moved to Middletown in the late 1940s from Jackson, Kentucky, a town in the heart of southeast Kentucky's coal region. Jim was 16, Bonnie was 13, and pregnant with Jim Child. See, that's the way it should be. On Glenn's show last night, they were talking about like marriage, and Glenn was saying some nonsense about wait till you're older. Bro, in the old days, we get married at 14. We're popping babies out by 16 at the latest. We're starting a family, baby. We ain't got no time for college. We need people to work this farm. We got families to build. We got babies to populate the earth. Bev and Bob later divorced. Mama and Pawpaw were Union Democrats. Interesting. Growing up, Vance spent his summer vacations with his great-grandmother and extended family in Jackson. To understand me, you must understand that I am a Scots-Irish hillbilly at heart. After graduating from Middletown High School in 2003, he enlisted in the Marine Corps and served in Iraq as a corporal with the Public Affairs Section of the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. I served my country honestly And I saw when I went to Iraq that I had been lied to, and the promise of foreign policy establishments were a complete joke. He graduated from Ohio State University with a degree in political science and philosophy before enrolling at Yale Law School in 2010. While at Yale, he attended a talk by Thiel about technological stagnation and the decline of American elites. He saw these two trends as connected. Vance later recalled of his first encounter with Thiel: if technology innovation were actually driving real prosperity, our elites wouldn't feel increasingly competitive with one another over a dwindling number of prestigious outcomes. Vance has called Thiel's talk the most significant moment of his time at Yale. Enough about his book. The American Conservative praised his powerful new memoir about his book. The New Republic trashed it. Trump is cultural heroin, he wrote in a story in The Atlantic. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place. I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical asshole like Nixon who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or that he's America's Hitler, he wrote to a friend in February 2016. He ended up voting for independent Evan McMullen. What the? Oh, so you added to the stochastic terrorism that led to an attempted Trump assassination, JD. That's not very nice. That's not very nice. Exactly. Teenage pregnancy is a modern term. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And if you say that, people are like, what are you, a PDF file? No, that's how it's always been until recently. I'm not saying a 50-year-old with a 14-year-old. I'm saying a 16-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl get married, and by the time she's 16 and he's 18, they're popping out babies. They're starting the family. He opposed the PRO Act. He's compared the current moment in American history. If Jalen was here, he'd be like, oh my goodness, you're supporting PDF file. Oh my God. Trump will at most serve 4 years in the White House, Vance has said. There's a big question about what comes after him. So hopefully he really has had a change of heart and Trump's not already starting to make the same mistakes he made last time with who he keeps around him. And he might be a reptilian. So those are some of the things we know about JD Vance. And it's 7:36. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab my other beer. I was only going to drink one beer. And then, but now, since I don't have to leave as soon as the show's over, go to the airport, I'm going to drink another one. I'll be right back. Somebody was moving out of their house. Somebody was moving out of their house, so they put a bunch of like canned food and jarred food out on the corner. And there were some artichoke hearts in there, like in a jar, in like oil and garlic and stuff like that. Artichoke hearts. And they looked really good. And I've never had them before. So I grabbed them. They are good. I've been eating them things. Like garlic artichoke hearts in oil. I like them. I like them. I think they'd be better with a little vinegar. Give them a little, put them in vinegar and pickle them, kind of. Because these are like in oil. I think it'd be better if it was in vinegar. Give them that sour pickle flavor. When I got my industrial piercing, it hurt afterwards. So I know what Trump's feeling. Are you talking about, is that in the top of your ear in the cartilage? That's crazy. That won't heal up, huh? Or will it? Anyway, let me open this folder because it's about that time. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the memes. The nukes are coming. All right. It's meme time, guys. It's the Bane and the pink suit guy. Biggest, baddest, highest budget security agency on the planet. A slightly sloped roof. Oh, no. Y'all know we got a lot of sloped roof memes. We got a lot of sloped roof Memes. Okay. Next. The chart. This is the most beautiful chart I've ever seen. A glorious chart. A great chart. A tremendous chart. You know, some people say that they have beautiful charts, but they've never seen a chart this beautiful. Nope. They don't know charts. You don't know charts. You've never seen this beautiful chart. This is the chart that saved Trump's life. Right here. The chart that saved Trump's life.
It's a man, baby.
Nice. We love this chart. It's a beautiful chart. I thought there was a round of applause. I'm always looking for the round of applause one. But yes, this is the chart that saved Trump's life right here. He turned back to look at it, and the bullet missed him. Next. This is how shredded chicken is made. It's a chicken with a fingerboard. That's shredded chicken right there. Hey. Look at that. That's so cute. Next. The most difficult part of the Secret Service hiring process. Slopes and ladders. Slopes and ladders. Watch out for slopes and ladders, guys. Next. Venus flytraps can live in sunlight and soil nutrients alone. They can live on sunlight and soil nutrients alone. But every morning, they wake up and choose violence. Nice. Venus flytraps are awesome. I want to get one. I need to get one. Next. When you're so woke, you bring back segregation. Harvard will host its first ever black-only graduation ceremony. The crickets are chirping because none of them graduate. Next. Barry Bonds. Barry. Oh, wait. Barry is saying, that's not Barry Bonds. That's some baseball player. And this is some guy named Barry. He's saying, reminder that the term home run is incredibly offensive to homeless people, people in wheelchairs, and especially homeless people in wheelchairs. Hey, that's right. Next. Trump indicted for inciting assassination attempt. Next. JFK falls really, really hard at rally in Dallas. Oh, no. Next. Possible suspect at the rally.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Is that Hillary? What the? Next. Meanwhile, at Walmart.
Beta!
Bro, I can't stand the people who take the wheelie cars that we have in the front at Walmart. I can't stand the people that ride around in those just because they're fat. It's like, maybe you wouldn't weigh 400 pounds if you didn't ride that. There are actual handicapped people who need that thing. Get out of the cart. Walk. If you can't walk to pick up your groceries, that's why you weigh 400 pounds. Next. The wage gap. They broke the glass ceiling. This is the wage gap between women and men. This is why you're paid less. Next. Bad slope, good slope. Right. One of these slopes is not like the other. One of these slopes is more extreme than the other one, but we couldn't put people on that roof. That makes sense. It's two piercings. It goes across the ear in the top. Oh, yeah, I've seen those. Do a dark slide chicken. You know what a dark slide is, B-Wise? That's funny. Next. Girls after being radicalized online. Boys after being radicalized online. Nice. Yes, this looks about right. Next. Are you sure you want to be a retard? This is character selection screen in Oblivion. Elder Scrolls. Are you sure you want to be a retard? Yes. Unfortunately, I do. Next. Going to a conservative convention in 2024 be like, why are there transvestites here? Rap music. Why is there rainbow MAGA flags? Conservative trans women. What the? That's a
beta
conservative convention. Next. Going off to work each morning be like, for money.
It's a man, baby.
Next. Okay, it's all a stage show, and you are the audience. Look at this. Zoomed in. Bro. He's a dang reptilian. Look at that. Look at that. Look at his eyes. He looks like he might be a dang reptilian. That's a mask. That's a skin suit. It's a skinwalker. Next! Protect your family from the government. Get the Slope 1000 today. 1-888-SLOPE-ME. Nice. Next! Just get a slope and they can't... Oh, that's my one. Get a slope and they can't show up. Trump's ear bandage was so unnecessary, right? But wearing masks and dressing up in traditional Kenyan garb and getting down on one knee, yeah, that was totally necessary, right? Yeah. Next. This is the roof that I cleaned off from that lady's house. U.S. Secret Service Director's biggest nightmare. This is like the roof I cleaned off of that lady's house. That's a very sloped roof. Watch out for a slope. Next. It's over, Anakin. I have the sloped roof. He said, I have the high ground. I have the sloped roof. You can't stop me now, Anakin. Next. Oh, man. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Beta!
I think you lied to us, Joe.
Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah.
You lied to us, Joe. China Joe with the China virus. I don't think the Vaseline worked. Don't you have COVID right now? Next. Become an agent of the United States Secret Service. Now hiring individuals with roofing experience.
Beta!
Next. Slope Team 6. Oh my God. They all have protractors. Oh man, it's a sad time in America. Next. Trump looks ridiculous with that Band-Aid. Says this freak.
Beta!
It's a man, baby.
That's not a man. I mean, that's a male, but not a man. Okay, sorry, I'm freaking you guys out. Sorry. Next. How long do demons live? 15,000 years. Nancy Pelosi's age? 84 years old. Next. I like that one. Trump looks ridiculous with his ear bandage, says these retards. Oh, man. I had to roast somebody on the internet who made a meme about Trump's ear bandage being ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, you wore a mask for 2 years during COVID. You turned your decal, your profile picture to a black square because some drug addict died from cardiac arrest and excited delirium. And then you cheered when they burned down the country. But yeah, Trump wearing a bandage on his ear. The world's smallest MyPillow on his ear. That's ridiculous. Okay. Shut up, stupid ass people. Next. As the Secret Service, we surveil all that the light touches. What about that building right over there? Well, that's too slopey, Simba. You must never go there. That's too slopey, Simba. You must never go there. That's my James Earl. What's his name? Ew, Mark Campbell. I bet it's got kids too. Oh, that freak thing? Yeah, probably. Plus, he couldn't stand up after that. Yeah, they had to help her up. Next, Kamala Harris and JD Vance had a. This is an older meme before. Well, potentially this still might happen, but I don't know. Kamala Harris and JD Vance have agreed to a vice presidential debate. Somebody said Trump picked a guy experienced in bickering with an Indian woman. 4D chess. Hey! He'd be arguing with Usha all the time. If anybody knows how to argue with an Indian, it's JD. Shout out the Lion King. Next. Indiana Jones looking at the hot Tua girl. And then he swipes it and replaces it with Trump getting shot. Hey, new memes. I shouldn't have done a drum roll because that's not funny, but this is funny. Hot Tua. Next. That face you make when you trust the government for your protection. Next. Threat neutralized. Now let's get off this sloped roof before somebody gets hurt.
Beta.
Nice. Next. Trump's ear bandage was so unnecessary, says the guy in the mask. This looks like a made by Jim Bob meme.
Beta.
Next. Donald Trump encourages and protects frightened U.S. Secret Service members who cling to his massive balls as he leads them to safety after a failed assassination attempt.
It's a man, baby.
Guys, hit the like button. Hot to us out. What up, baby? Bro, come on, gonna get wrecked. Oh, I didn't even realize that was Bibby. I couldn't see where it was coming from. Guys, does the Cashapp thing work or not? I need to know how to fix it. Somebody needs to help me figure out how to fix that. Anyway. Next. Oh no, a piece of ear shot off of Trump begins to grow into a second Trump. What?
It's a man, baby.
Oh my goodness. Watch out for second Trump. Next. When you order a pillow on Temu. It's the world's smallest My Pillow. Hey. And that's it for the memes. All right. Enough memes. I don't have any funny reels this week. I don't have any reels this week. But we do have some rapid fire. What did I just close? Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Let me open the rapid fire news. A couple of rapid fire stories. We're gonna look at this fire that happened in as long as I only need like 40 minutes to cover the Bible thumping segment. But hold on, let me find my short. Well, maybe I won't do my short. I won't show you my short, but I made a short because I saw the fire. First, we're going to talk about local news. They're shooting lasers at Salt Lake City now. Massive flames lit up the mountainside of the mountains, which are that way. Right over there, behind the city skyline, the whole mountain was on fire, back behind the Capitol. And it was pretty freaky. They said they were going to get it under control in an hour or so. And then a couple hours later, I went to work, and the whole mountain was on fire. So we have a laser attack in Salt Lake City. Massive flames close to homes forced evacuations of about 40 homes near Ensign Peak in Salt Lake City after fire broke out northwest of the Utah State Capitol building.
Mandatory evacuations in place in a Salt Lake neighborhood as the Sandhurst fire continues to burn near Ensign Peak. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Malahi.
And I'm Mallory Moore. This is a live look.
Bro, Mallory Moore's voice was way deeper than I expected it to sound like.
Right now, the flames from our roof camera, and you can see them in the dark night sky with those flames burning Again, this is the area that has just been scorched this evening, a live look. And then we have some viewer video to show you. Look at this. This fire broke out around 4:30 this afternoon, just before our 5 o'clock show. Left a large plume of smoke in the sky for hours that you could see.
Tonight we have team coverage starting with Lincoln Graves, who is about as close to the fire as you can get. Lincoln fire crews just gave an update less than an hour ago.
I could get pretty close.
Yeah, Brian and Mallory, we are on Cortez Street right now. We're in the neighborhood just above Capitol Hill. In the daylight, we could see the smoke from the fire, but from where we are right now, we really can't see too much now that darkness has fallen. However, we are seeing some emergency vehicles up in the neighborhoods where evacuation orders have taken place. You can see those flashing lights up there right now. Now, it did not take long for state firefighting coordinators to scramble a significant number of firefighting resources to battle this. It started earlier this afternoon. It became known as the Sandhurst
I know right where that is.
fire. It was kicking up a lot of smoke and flames.
I used to hike back here. Some of my camping videos, we hiked back in this area.
Could be seen from downtown Salt Lake City. The quick and overwhelming response by fire crews really made a difference, though, and right now, crews are feeling optimistic. They also say the weather has helped.
We do have a good control of the fire.
But the wind kicked up later in the night, and I don't think they got it under control as quick as they expected. Fire crews gain control on blaze near Inside Peak. Mandatory evacuations remain in place. So, just crazy little fire. Firefighters say they believe they are making strong progress as they continue to battle the wildfire that sparked Saturday in the foothills near Inside Peak, but some mandatory evacuations remain in effect for homes near the blaze. Utah fire officials posted on social media late Saturday that the fire, dubbed the Sandhurst fire, is now estimated at 200 acres and that approximately 20 homes are evacuated. So they're shooting lasers at Salt Lake City now is the main takeaway. They're adding gasoline. We've got fires around us as well. Not sure if it's from natural causes or something else. Yeah, they haven't even explained the cause of this fire yet. Could be homeless people in the hills. Could be lasers. Because we do brush control and all that stuff. I'm sure the mayor will blame fireworks and say we're going to have to permanently ban fireworks. Industrial piercing? Yeesh. Last summer's Canadian wildfires were something else. Yeah, they all popped up randomly at the same time. In different places, just all popped up at the same time. It's kind of weird. Whoa, what are you talking about, William? That's gross. So enough of that. There's my local story for you. What else we got? We got a shooting. 9 shot, 3 fatally when multiple gunmen opened fire at a large Philadelphia party, police say. Sounds like some urban action. Not like JS Urban Adventures. The different kind of urban. More than 100 people were at the scene for a party. 9 people were shot, 3 fatally when gunfire involving multiple gunmen erupted early Sunday at a party in Philadelphia, authorities said. The mass shooting unfolded around 2 a.m. on the 1200 block of North Alden Street in the Carroll Park neighborhood of West Philadelphia. Born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my where a party attended by more than 100 people was taking place, according to the Philadelphia Police Department. What's this video? Is there going to be an ad? There's an ad. We don't need to watch this. I think I actually have it. Let's see. We'll watch it. In West Philadelphia, born and raised. WGJ. Woo. What does that mean? Hold on. There's an ad playing, and then I'll bring you into the...
Nights, 9 people were shot, 3 of them killed when gunfire rang out overnight in West Philadelphia. It happened on the 1200 block of North Alden Street at about 2 o'clock this morning.
To stop the violence. 3 people are dead and 6 others are injured after gunfire ripped through the 1200 block.
No description of the suspects. You think this is young partygoers, young youthful partygoers?
of Alden Street, where more than 100 people were gathered in West Philadelphia.
It's very terrible, and this is where I guess it gets to the point where they don't want people to have block parties, because sometimes when you have block parties, other people come from other neighborhood and interrupt the block.
You mean black people? You mean this is gang violence? They're not going to say that, though.
Party.
It happened just after 2 a.m. Sunday.
Get every available unit we have on this location. We have a bunch of people here, probably close to 100.
Police say a fight broke out and quickly escalated to gunfire. A 23-year-old, 29-year-old, and
oh, there's a bottle of Patron. Shocker. A fight broke out at a block party in Philadelphia, and people got shot. Crazy.
33-year-old died.
It appears that there were multiple shooters. It's unclear at this time how many, but we have counted at least 25 to 30 spent shell casings at this time.
The crime scene spread over half a block.
What's up, Lord Spike? Kevin, have some respect. Who's Kevin? I don't see nobody named Kevin in the chat. Unless you deleted it. I don't know. Who's Kevin? Kevin! Come on, Kevin. Kevin, have some respect. Urban as in black. All that was left after the shooting were fresh prints. Oh. Be wise. Be wise. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Who's Kevin? What are you guys talking about? Did you delete a comment? I don't see anything. Anyway. Back to this.
Cars were hit. A gun was also recovered. Police say they're not sure of the motive. So far, there have been no arrests.
The problem is with the young generation. They have really nowhere to go because they have a lot on their hearts.
The youths, the young generation. You mean the problem with the blacks?
Minds and souls. And they just taking it out in the wrong matter, which is innocent people getting hurt behind that.
The surviving victims are all said to be stable with gunshot wounds, mostly to their legs and arms. Investigators, they're still searching for surveillance video and more witnesses to come forward.
How am I supposed to know that?
6, Action News.
I'm not a dang psychic. How am I supposed to know that? Have we been over this before? All right, let's do some geopolitics. It's been a while since we checked in on Israel. It's been a while since we checked in on Ukraine. We got some Bangladesh and some Israel news. Israel says airstrike in Yemen will block weapons to the Houthi militia. This is from NPR. Israel said Sunday it carried out a retaliatory airstrike on a key port in Yemen in an attempt to prevent the ongoing delivery of weapons to the Houthi militia by Iran. The Israeli bombing raid on Saturday evening ignited huge fires at oil and gas storage tanks in Yemen's port of Hudalaliyala on the country's Red Sea coast. Israel also targeted an electrical station and cranes that load and unload cargo at the port, according to officials in Israel and Yemen. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the Hudalaliyala port was the entry port for weapons that are supplied by Iran to its Houthi terrorist proxies. The Houthis have used those weapons to attack Israel, to attack Arab states in the region, and to attack many others. So, Houthis, they're shooting missiles at the Houthis. They're blocking weapons to the militia. Good play, Israel. Except we probably paid for all those missiles, but anyway. What else? Geopolitic-wise. Bangladesh. I don't even understand this article. I read it and I didn't understand it. Bangladesh court scraps most job quotas that sparked deadly protests. So apparently in Bangladesh, they've been having protests and they finally quieted it down. And 139 people have been killed in the violence in Bangladesh over protests relating to government job quotas, I guess. Bangladesh Supreme Court on Sunday scrapped most quotas on government jobs after nationwide action led by students spiraled into clashes that killed at least 139 people. This is from Reuters. But some organizers said the protests would continue. Dismissing a lower court order, the Supreme Court's appellate division directed that 93% of government jobs should be open to candidates of merit. Attorney General Amin Yudin told Reuters. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government had scrapped the quota system in 2018, under which 56% of jobs were reserved for groups such as freedom fighters, families, women, and people from underdeveloped districts. But the lower court reinstated it last month, sparking the protests and an ensuing clampdown that included an internet shutdown and a curfew of the army on the streets. The recent clashes followed similar violent protests ahead of January's national elections by Hasini's opponents in response to what they called her authoritarian rule. You can't have a woman authoritarian. What is this? What is this, Bangladesh? More like Bangladesh. Hold on one second. I'll put this out. All right. What a mess. Students have clearly said that they are in no way part of the violence and arson that have taken place in Bangladesh since Monday. I'm hoping normalcy. This is a quote from Amin Udin. And I am hoping normalcy will return after today's ruling, and people will, with ulterior motives, will stop instigating people. So, protests in Bangladesh. I didn't even know protests were happening in Bangladesh. 139 people died. That's kind of crazy. That's a protest. That's an insurrection. Now we got some oddities news. We got 2 oddities. I like the oddities in rapid fire. Both of our oddities come from Fox this week. So I heard somebody talking about this on a panel, and I just thought, I didn't know that it was a thing. But bald eagles, the American bald eagle, the national bird, you can't kill it. They're attacking people. Bald eagles in Kodiak, Alaska, still behaving aggressively, while attacks have decreased from last week. Bald eagles, I think Rome said if a bald eagle was black, it would have a little afro. In one of the chats I saw, I was like, that's funny. A cute little afro. These are gangster bald eagles. They're attacking people. Let's see if we can play the ad. We're gonna get an ad. Oh no, I hate when they do this. The video is not related to the story, so I'm just gonna read the story. Hold on, we can put this up so you can see some pictures. Put this up so you can see these pics. A series of recent eagle attacks have left Alaskans confused as to why the majestic birds are going after people. In Kodiak, Alaska, eagles have struck at least 3 locals who then required stitches. You don't want to get attacked by a damn eagle. According to some back in the day, what are they called? Hawk masters, or there's a word for the guys who like train the hawks. And in the Dark Tower series, when Roland was training in Gilead, to beat his master, to become a gunslinger, he had to beat his master in a fight, and you get to choose one weapon, and then his trainer or his master picked like a big sword, and yeah, falconeers, yes, and Roland chose a hawk, his pet hawk that he had trained. So Roland defeated his teacher to become a gunslinger with a hawk as his weapon. He was a falconeer, not a hawk tua, but a real hawk. This hawk came in, attacked this guy, took his teacher's eyes out, and then Roland whooped his ass. It was pretty cool. In Kodiak, Alaska, eagles have struck at least 3 locals. The incidents took place in St. Herman's boat harbor known as Dog Bay. David Johnson, harbor master and port director, told Fox News Digital that it's not yet known why the eagles are attacking. There's a large nest with at least 1 chick nearby. We are advising harbor users in the area to exercise caution and watch out for eagles to avoid the area if possible. Our harbor staff have taken to holding something above their heads when they're near the nest. I bet this looks so funny. They're like walking around with like you get a pool noodle and just spin it while you're walking around like a helicopter. Take your shirt off. Take it around your head. Spin it like a helicopter. Up in Alaska, the eagles raise up. Take your shirt off. Take it around your head. Spin it like a helicopter. That's how you got to keep the eagles away. Look at this damn bald eagle. You do not want to freaking mess with an eagle. That's crazy. Look at this thing. He's got blood on his face. He's ripping people's faces off. Steve Lewis and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's biologist who focus on eagles and raptors. Eagles and raptors? I told you guys. I've been trying to tell you. Even though I don't believe that eagles and raptors and chickens are all from the same family, we have raptor scientists. Or they mean raptor like a type of bird. Isn't raptor also called a type of bird? North Carolina Petey Pablo style. So we got eagles attacking people. And then in other oddity news, and this is my conspiracy corner. So I don't believe allergies are real. And if you say, if anybody, you're getting a 5-minute timeout. If you come in my chat right now and say, what do you mean, Josh? I'm allergic to tomatoes. Josh, I'm allergic to dander. Sometimes in allergy season, I get the sniffles from all the pollen and dander. Yeah, so does everybody. It's not allergies. Just quit being a bitch. You've got a runny nose. It's not a big deal. You don't need to take medication for it. Allergies are fake. Just build up your immune system. Deal with it. That's a joke, YouTube. I'm not giving medical. I'm not a doctor. That is not medically sound. But do not tell me about your allergies. Reddit dog allergy victim is shamed for leaving family reunion early. I couldn't take it anymore. So I guess this person went on Reddit and they said they had to leave their family reunion because of the dog. And Reddit roasted this person. Reddit doesn't like when you say anything bad about animals. A woman who left a family party early, and I'm just saying this person is just ridiculous. I have cat allergies. You have cats. I have cat allergies. I get the sniffles when there's a cat around. You get the sniffles because there's cat hair in here. You got cat hair on your face, and it tickles your nose, and you get the sniffles. You're not allergic to cats. You're just a sissy. And any little thing that irritates you just the tiny bit, you need to go to the doctor and get a medication for it. Cut it out. A woman who left a party early after a dog was unexpectedly brought to the event triggered her allergies, was completely right to do so. An etiquette expert, and an allergist told Fox. These are both fake professions. An etiquette expert and an allergist. Aida for leaving the family reunion early because most of my cousin's unannounced pet, asked Reddit user Dreamy Assistant, am I the a-hole? In the post, the woman said her husband's family holds annual reunions, which are a big event where they all catch up, play games, enjoy each other's company. This year, however, one of her husband's relatives recently got a dog, which she adores and brings everywhere. However, no one mentioned there would be a dog coming to the reunion. Shut up. Dream Assistant. You know, people who don't like animals are typically formula babies. Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. If you don't like animals, you're probably... Why can I still see this? If you don't like animals, or you have dog allergies or cat allergies, you're probably a formula baby. And that is not... Josh is allergic to decent music. Shut up, bro. I listen to the best music. What are you talking about? What was I just saying? You just threw me off with that. What was I just saying? Anyway, allergies are fake. And if you don't like animals, you're probably a formula baby. And that is not a compliment. That's an insult. I approached the cousins and gently reminded her about my allergy. Oh, don't you know I have a dog allergy? Now, to be fair, I think people who walk around with like dogs in purses or take their dogs everywhere, pretend like it's a service dog when it's this little dog that can't do no service for you. I also think those people are in the wrong too. You don't need to bring your dog to the family reunion just to show it off. And people carry dogs in handbags, bring their dogs in the restaurants. I think those people are scum as well. But I also think people with fake pet animal allergies are formula babies, and they're not very cool either. So both of these people are in the wrong. Instead, she got defensive because she didn't remember I had an allergy, but then she told me she would keep the dog away. The dog, however, apparently did not stay away. It's because your allergies are fake, and as soon as you saw the dog, doesn't matter how close the dog gets to you or stays away from you, your placebo allergy is going to take effect. Just the fact that you saw the dog, you're going to, oh my God, I have the sniffles. Her husband said, I bet you this person got 5 vaccinations. Her husband said, suggested I should try to stick it out. But dreamy assistant decided to leave, much to her husband and family's chagrin. They gave me a hard time for overreacting and ruining the fun. And then I guess Reddit roasted this person. Other people in the family understood the situation. Now I'm conflicted because I hate the idea of causing family tension and having the okay. Pet allergen can stay suspended in the air for up to 2 months. Shut up. That's fake news. That's fake news. I call BS. They just want Benadryl. They just want us to push medications on us, make people weaker. What happens when the grid goes down and everybody's looting and there's no more Benadryl? And you got to go out in the wilderness, and there's going to be pollen and dander and freaking lions and tigers and bears, and you're going to be complaining about the sniffles? Get out of here with this. All right. That's enough of that story. That's all I wanted to say. All I wanted to say is both people are in the wrong there. Don't bring your dog everywhere. Don't carry your dog in a purse. Also, you shouldn't have a dog that weighs less than 20 or 30 pounds. No offense. If you got a small dog, we used to have a small dog named Action Jackson when I was a kid. He was a Shih Tzu Maltese. He was like this big. He was an awesome dog. So I understand small dogs are cool. I'm just joking. But if you're carrying your dog in a damn handbag when you go to the store and when you go out to eat, get out of here. Get out of here. When the grid goes down, you're all dead to me. Especially if you have allergies. You're not allowed in my fortress during the apocalypse when the grid goes down if you have allergies. We're going to have a sign on the front gate that says, if you have allergies, you're not welcome here. You got to go. You're not going to make it. Small dogs make great bait. All right. Last story in rapid fire news. You guys know I've talked a lot about how they're pushing drugs on everybody. I'm anti-drugs. Everybody wants to legalize pot and legalize mushrooms, and we're taking mushrooms and ketamine for our depression, bruh. Oh, I have a medical weed card, so they're going to take away my right to own a gun eventually. But I got a medical weed card, so I can buy my pot because my back hurts sometimes. Shut up. Shut up. From Business Insider. From Business Insider. Dozens of illnesses across 28 states are now linked to a company's microdosing gummies and chocolate bars. More than 5 dozen people reported seeking medical attention after consuming Diamond Shrooms products. Yeah, that's because there's mushrooms in it. It's got psilocybin in it. Yeah, it's going to make you sick. A study also found some of the company's gummies contain psilocin, not psilocybin, but psilocin, a controlled substance. The FDA, yeah, it's a shrooms product. Of course, it's got damn psilocin or psilocybin, or I guess psilocin must be different than psilocybin. I didn't know that psilocybin was a controlled substance. When the grid goes down, y'all are dead to me. No, if you can make it to my fortress and you don't have any small dogs or allergies, then you'll be alive to me. We can rebuild society together. The FDA reported 36 hospitalizations as well as 1 death potentially associated with the product. So mushroom gummies, and people be putting mushrooms in their coffee, mushroom gummies, mushroom chocolates, and everybody's walking around tripping balls like a zombie. It's ridiculous. And now people are dying from it. Shocker. Who would have thunk? Who could have guessed it? Anyway, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. That's all the rapid fire news. All right. I need my notebook. I need a sip of the beer. I think I can do this in 40 minutes. I guess there's no rush now since Flora's not going to be here till tomorrow. This is going to mess up the I knew I should have rescheduled. I asked her. I said, "Hey, should I reschedule the Tuesday show with Easy and Vigilante?" And she's like, "No, dude. I don't want you to change your plans for me. I want to sit and watch the debate." And I said, "All right, Tuesday, I'm doing it. Like 7 to 10. Okay, it should be fun." That's what Floor said. And now, I should have known the freaking plane system in America is horrible. I shouldn't expect it to be great in Guatemala. Don't do hallucinogenic stuff, chat kids. Yeah. Josh, you ever see a kangaroo fist fight a human? I have. I have twice on video, not in person. I've never seen a kangaroo in person. I don't even really know if they're real, honestly. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure that kangaroos are real. But I have seen, there's a legendary YouTube video where this guy socks a kangaroo in the face. I played it on the channel a while ago, like years ago. But he punches this kangaroo in the face. And the kangaroo backs off like, whoa. Dude just punched me in the face. Google it. What are we Googling? Fro doesn't sound like that. I don't sound like that. Joe Biden. He a dividing plane. You know, Joe Biden, he very bad president. Flor Poque Rodriguez. De Maria Costenda de Rodriguez. Roos are more real than pandas. Yeah. I'll agree with that. Yeah, I agree. I think maybe 70% chance that kangaroos are real, like 5% chance that pandas are real. Pandas are definitely fake. What the heck is that? One is more real than other. Hubby said, "Josh, go to Australia and see." I don't even know if Australia is real. I'm supposed to think this elusive marsupial creature is real, and I don't even know if the whole country is real. I don't know. Marsupial. How do you have a freaking what's it called? How do you have a fanny pack built in for babies? I don't know about that. God can do whatever he wants. But what's he going to make a kangaroo and a panda for? That panda right there is not real. Okay. Let me open a folder. We got lots of Bible thumping to do. We're going to be jumping all around the Bible right now. So the idea for this came from the stream last weekend. I just casually, they were talking about Jesus being a carpenter. And I just casually said, you know, I heard it was more likely that he was actually a stone worker than a woodworker. I said than a carpenter. I shouldn't have said carpenter. I should have said woodworker, because carpenter, the word they're using for carpenter, translates from the Greek tekton, which is a craftsman or a carpenter or a builder. So carpenter could also mean they work with stone back in the day. And people got like hyphy about it. People wanted to debate about it. Maybe they were just looking for something to talk about. And it did give us a conversation topic for a little while. But it also gave me a topic for the show. And I always need topics for the show for the last hour. And so now we're going to talk about it. And we're going to actually go to the Bible and try to answer the question. The Greek scriptures do not say carpenter specifically, but tekton, which means builder or stonemason. Now, this website is not totally accurate because it also could mean carpenter or craftsman. The Aramaic equivalent to tekton also means scholar. I don't know about this website. I'm not going to read too much from this website, but yeah, we'll just skip that one. We will go into the bibliothèque and we'll talk about this for a second. So, was Jesus a woodworker or a stoneworker? So, Nazareth. We'll talk about Nazareth, the location, the geography. First, we're going to talk about a little place called Sepphoris, or how do you say it in Greek? Where's the pronunciation? Zipori. Spelled in English, Sepphoris, pronounced in Hebrew as Zipori, and in Arabic as Safuria, is an archaeological site located in central Galilee region of Israel, 6 kilometers, 3.7 miles northwest of Nazareth. Jesus would have lived 3.2 miles from this ancient rock quarry, a famous rock quarry, now an archaeological dig site where they found many artifacts tying back to the biblical time, especially vases and pottery. So Jesus would have lived 3 miles away from this. And houses in Nazareth, we're going to watch a little video from National Geographic. I'm not a huge National Geographic fan, but this video just shows us Nazareth at the time. And so we're going to show that. First, we're going to talk about Zephora. We're going to talk about the Galilean stone factory discovered in the time of Jesus. So let me show you this. So here's some pictures of it. On every trip to Israel I lead, people always ask me, was Joseph of Nazareth a wood carpenter or a stonemason? It's actually a great question because of the text Matthew 13:55 and Mark 6:3. Given the first century context and what we know about life in Lower Galilee region during the days of Jesus, most likely Joseph and later Jesus worked more with cutting and shaping stone than working with wood. A recent archaeological discovery seems to confirm this. The gospel text cited above uses a specific Greek word tekton, like tectonic plates, to describe the occupation of Joseph. The word is often translated carpenter, implying that it was an occupation of working with wood. However, the Greek word simply means builder. Not while Joseph, probably like many in that culture, did have the skill to build shelves and doors and tables using wood, given that most everything was built with stone. So, of course, they probably had tools to work with wood, but their primary concern was probably working with stone. So, I'm going to give you guys the nuance to take off the top. They probably worked with both, but they probably primarily worked with stone, which is what I'm going to demonstrate with the Bible. So first, we're going to go to Mark 6:3, or you can go to Matthew 13:55. But I think I have Mark marked. I have Mark marked. I marked Mark. I marked Mark. Mark 6:3. Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph, and of Judah and Simeon? And are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. So basically, the point of that is that it says, is not this the carpenter? So if we open up the interlinear right here, here's the interlinear. Not this is the carpenter, Tekton. So when we go to Tekton, we can see occurrences in the Strong's Concordance. We can see additional entries and different Greek. We could check the Greek or the Hebrew. Is not this the carpenter, the son? The carpenter, the son. But this is kind of a faulty translation. Builder, I think, would have been a better word, because Christ is the builder. Christ is the molder, the sculptor. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we get into all the other Bible thumping, we're going to look at this video from National Geographic to take a look at what it looked like in Nazareth.
The hillsides around the city of Nazareth contain...
There's trees! Oh my goodness, they're trees. Nada had the worst argument ever. He said, look, the Bible mentions wood all these times. Yes, of course the Bible mentions wood. They were saying, what about boats? What about the ark? Well, first off, the ark wasn't built in Nazareth. Second, the ark was built thousands of years before Jesus, pre-flood, when Earth would have been more like a terrarium, where people lived 900 years, where it was probably much more lush and vibrant and less toxins in the air, no garbage food, people lived longer, and nobody even knew what a boat was in Noah's time. God had to tell Noah exactly what to do, and it was God that inspired Noah to build the boat. Noah didn't know how to build boats. Nobody knew what a boat was at that time.
Ruins that date...
So just because there's some trees, if you notice, there's a giant rock quarry here. And these trees are not lumber trees. These are small trees, right? There is a variety of trees at the time, and it was probably more lush back then, which I will show that to defend the other side at the end of this. But for the most part, that area was known for its limestone and rock sculpting.
Back to biblical times. They've helped archaeologists...
Oh, look at this stone wall. What do you think took longer to build? This stone wall here, or this little 4 logs with some hay on top of the roof standing up? They probably throw this up in 20 minutes. This probably took days and days and days to make.
And biblical scholars recreate what Nazareth would
also pay attention to the pottery, because it's important.
Have looked like in Jesus's time. James Tabor, a biblical...
Yes, producer, I'm telling you everything you've learned is wrong. I'm telling you should question things and not just let no man teach you. That's what the Bible says. Let no man teach you. So, just because you saw it in The Passion of the Christ and you love Mel Gibson, I love Mel Gibson. You saw Jesus making a table with his mama. Probably not likely.
Scholar specializing in the life of Jesus is here to show me just how real it is. But listen, James, was Nazareth really like this?
I don't even think it could be reproduced, no matter what you did. Think about the crowdedness, the smell.
Notice all the rock sculptures, all the buildings, all the structures.
The cacophony of sounds.
The animals.
Animals walking around, the dung in the street.
I was thinking it must have stunk.
It would have to. We're going to go into one of the houses here. Notice as we step inside through the door, we're actually out.
And Nada said the door. Look at the woodwork. Look at the ceiling. Look at the woodwork on the ceiling. It's like four logs. And they're not even like square. They just throw some sticks over the roof. And Nada was saying doorways. What about doorways? A doorway is 3 logs. And then there's thousands and thousands of stones built around that.
Outside in this courtyard area, this workshop area, 90% of the life is outdoors, even though you're in the house with a bit of shelter from the sun. Think of all of these activities that go on.
Yes, I know. But they didn't live in Nazareth. They weren't from Nazareth. Peter is not Jesus. Jesus is from Nazareth. Peter was probably from a harbor town where they fished. And then when Jesus started traveling and making fishers of men, then yeah, but Jesus wasn't building the boats. So that's not an argument. Yes, I know stuff was made of wood. I get it. You're watching a TV program? Yeah, we're watching National Geographic Nazareth to show what Nazareth looks like.
In a village, particularly the manufacturing.
That's such a dumb Matthew. Come on, you're smarter than that. Don't try to do that. Oh my gosh, she's watching National Geographic. We're about to go through 40 sources and 20 different Bible verses to support this. It's not just, I didn't just hear this on National Geographic in a 4-minute video and decide this, buddy. Come on now.
Like somebody's going to be making the pottery, somebody's going to be baking the bread.
Everybody does that out of their house.
Out of their house. So it really gives you a sense of that workshop atmosphere. And here's an example of the weaving.
After shearing the sheep and washing the wool, the weaver does what's called carding the wool, opening it up and separating the fibers so they can work them on the loom.
Not important.
That's
true.
Yeah.
Do you dye the wool? But there's another job they're doing in this house that I want to see, because it's one of the most famous jobs in the Bible. Carpentry.
Carpentry.
We've all been told that when Jesus wasn't overturning tables, he was making them. Now, some carpenters' tools haven't changed in 2,000 years.
Oh, there's some carpenters. Hey, there are carpenters.
But some have.
What's this tool for?
Drill.
A drill.
It's nothing like my drill.
Well, how do you use it?
Like that.
Oh, really? Can I try? Yeah. That is really tricky.
Nat Geo is the one who bought for $3 million the apocryphal Gospel of Judas. So, yeah. I think you're missing the point. You're being super bad faith, low IQ, Matthew.
I know where they invented power tools. Yeah. This is hard. Is it common to have a small child in the workplace? Like
Absolutely. Judaism taught that if you don't train your son in a profession, you've abandoned him, basically.
That kid sucks at carpentry.
Carpentry shop. Most famous job in the world. I mean, is this how Jesus would have grown up?
Yeah, I think that's the image people have. It's certainly in the movies and the books. But we've been studying the terms that are used, and Jesus is called a carpenter in English, but of course it wasn't written in English, written in Greek.
Right.
But the word actually is tekton,
which means?
And it means sort of artisan or a builder, like a stonemason, which really doesn't fit woodworking as much.
Right.
So it could be any kind of builder. You notice there's not a lot of wood in a home,
right?
But more
Oh yeah, look at the. Oh, there's a doorway though.
Stone.
Lots of stone.
And most of the examples when Jesus taught, he talks about stone so often.
So it's Jesus the stone.
Yes, and that's what we're going to talk about today. He talks about stone so often. So let's go through a couple of these. And if you can think of some parables relating to wood, there's also actually an argument that he was also probably good at cultivating and gardening, because he makes a lot of parables and references to crops. You know, the parable of the sower. You can judge a tree by its fruit. Did Jesus say that? I forget who said that, but there are many parables that relate to gardening and growing plants and stuff. But I'm sure everybody back then probably had that skill. So he lived 3.2 miles from Z40, the famous Nazareth rock quarry. We did the interlinear on that. Hold on, I'm trying to see what I'm doing first here. So first we're going to go to Matthew 16:18. So this is Peter's great confession, Matthew 16:18. We'll read a little bit before and after. He's talking to Peter, and Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Barjona, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. Verse 18, and I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. On this rock I shall build my church. Christ is the builder. He molds hearts of stone. Hearts of stone. He molds them. So there's one. Now we're going to go to Matthew 7:24 through 27. And I'm just going to read a little chunk of this here. We've talked about this before on the show. But we'll start at verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Therefore, whoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which build his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house on sand. So Jesus is making a parable relating to a builder. Building your house on a rock. Building your house of stone. Like the three little pigs. You don't want a house of hay. You want a house of rock. Another builder reference. Jesus is the master builder. Paul calls Jesus the master builder. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 3:10. Did I mark that one? I don't know if I... Yeah. 1 Corinthians 3:10. According to the grace of God which is given unto me as a wise master builder. This is Jesus talking to Paul. It's not in red because it would be the spirit of Jesus or a message from Jesus. It's not Jesus literally talking. If you don't credit Paul as legit, then you might brush this aside. But this is Paul saying that Jesus is the master builder. According to the grace of God which is given unto me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, there's a little bit of wood, hay, and stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If you build your house of wood, we learned this in the Three Little Pigs, it's not going to hold up to fire. You have to build your house on a stone foundation. Jesus is the master builder. He's referred to as a builder repeatedly, much more than Joseph is referred to as a carpenter. Jesus is referred to as the master builder or a builder. And he tells parables, speaking of building your house on a solid foundation. That's Paul. Now we're going to go to Jeremiah 18. I don't know if I marked these ones. Jeremiah 18 and Romans 9, 19 through 24. I think I have them here. I didn't mark them in my Bible, but I have them on the computer in front of me. This one's not loading. The Jeremiah 18 one is not loading. And I don't want New International. Let's go. We'll do New King James. This is Romans 9:19, and it's referencing Jeremiah 18. This is the potter. The potter. Now, they had pottery made of limestone, and many of these pots were found in Nazareth and in Zaphoria, many of these pots were made of limestone. They used limestone as pots, and it was very common because it kept out a bacteria called Temera, I think Teruma. Teruma was common, so they would use limestone because it didn't hold the Teruma. Now, I know they didn't understand germ theory, so I don't know how they figured this out, but I think basically when they would put stuff in a limestone jar, it wouldn't go bad as quickly. And so they figured out, let's use the limestone instead of the wood bowls. Instead of making bowls out of wood and then our food goes bad quickly, let's use the limestone. And they found that's why Zephoria is now an archaeological dig site, because they found so many of these pots around Nazareth and there. And Jesus talks about these pots, and Jesus actually uses these pots in John 2, which we'll go to here in a second. But first, let's talk about the potter. So this is Romans 9:19 through 24. You'll say to me then, why does he still find fault? For who has resisted his will? But indeed, O man, where are you to reply against God? Will the thing formed say to him who formed it, why have you made me like this? Does not the potter have power over the clay, for the same lump to make one vessel for honor and another for dishonor? What if God, wanting to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had prepared beforehand for glory, even us whom he called, not the Jews only, but also the Gentiles. This is the potter and the clay. It's also in Jeremiah 18. It talks about the potter and the clay. God being the potter, we're being the clay that we molded, heart of stone. Christ molds the heart of stone, chisels away at the heart of stone. Have a good night. I'm out. Did they make Jesus build his own cross too? No, I doubt he built that cross. He carried it, but I doubt he built it, because I don't think he was as skilled of a woodworker as he was a stone worker. So, why is this not loading? Yeah, let's read it out of Jeremiah 18. This is ESV. I don't want, well, I'll read the whole chapter. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will let you hear my words. So I went down to the potter's house, and there he was working at his wheel. And the vessel he was making of clay was spoiled in the potter's hand, and he revoked it into another vessel, as it seemed good to the potter to do. Then the word of the Lord came to me, O house of Israel, can I not do with you as this potter has done, declares the Lord? Behold, like the clay in the potter's hands, so are you in my hand, O house of Israel. If at any time I declare concerning a nation or kingdom that I will pluck up and break down and destroy it, and if that nation concerning which I have spoken turns from its evil, I will relent of the disaster that I intended to do. And if at any time I declare concerning a nation or a kingdom that I will build and plant it, I will build and plant it, the gardener and the builder. And if it does evil in my sight, not listening to my voice, then I will relent of the good that I have intended to do. Now, therefore, say to the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, thus says the Lord, behold, I am shaping disaster against you and devising a plan against you. Return everyone from his evil way and amend your ways and your deeds. So this is the potter and the clay, the molding, the master builder. You have one example of the word carpenter, and it's mistranslated from Tekton, which means builder. And then you have multiple references throughout the Bible referring to God and Jesus as the builders or the sculptors or the molders or the potters, which is all stonework. You have a quarry, a famous archaeological dig site, which is a giant, massive Mecca quarry 3 miles away from Jesus's house. And we're not done yet. Let's go to John 2. Let's go to John 2. Speaking of pottery, speaking of limestone vases, which were found in Nazareth. And the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there, and both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus saith unto him, they have no wine. Jesus said unto her, Woman, what have I had to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come. His mother saith unto the servants, Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. So these are the pottery. They're made of limestone because we find later that it reduces teruma. And so we have 6 pots. These are important because later in Revelation, they also refer to the pottery and the vases and the pots in the seals being broken on the stone jars. And we are the clay in the potter's hand. Jesus being the master builder, a stone worker who softens hearts of stone. Right? Are you following? Jesus saying to them, fill the water pots with water pots with water, and they filled them up to the brim. And he saith unto them, draw out now and bear unto the governor of the feast, and they bear it. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water, there was made wine, and knew not whence it was. But the servants which drew the water knew. The governor of the feast called the bridegroom. So Jesus turns the water to the wine. This reference the pots, the clay, stoneworking, found in Nazareth. This is all supporting my point. Okay. Speaking of potter, John 2, Jesus used limestone pots to turn water to wine. Limestone harvested in the Sephora. Pottery like this was found in and around Nazareth, and it was common because it prevented teruma. Now we're going to end with the cornerstone, which I didn't save these verses because no, we're not going to end with the cornerstone. We're going to end with Genesis 2:7. But before that, let's talk about the cornerstone. I don't think I have these verses saved, so give me 1 second. We'll just find them. We'll go Psalms 118, 22, and 23. Psalms 118, 22, and 23. 119 is long. The stone which the builders refused is become the headstone of the corner. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. The cornerstone. The stone which the builders refused has become the headstone of the corner, or the cornerstone. We're talking about the cornerstone now. Let's go to Acts 4:11. We'll stop at Matthew 21:42 on the way. Matthew 21:42. Jesus saith unto them, Did ye never read the scriptures? The stone which the builders rejected, the same has become the head of the corner, which is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore I say unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you and given to a nation, bringing forth the fruits thereof. The planter and the builder. Notice how he mentions building, cornerstones, structures made of stone. God is the builder. Jesus is a builder, a tekton, architecton, tectonic plates, okay? And the planter or the gardener. And there he says it right there. It says it right there. He's talking about building and he's talking about planting. Therefore I say unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you and given to the nation, bringing forth the fruits thereof. Fruiting plants, because the cornerstone was the stone that held the whole building together, right? And it had to be a perfect stone. So the builder's most important job was to find a perfect cornerstone, because that's how you would measure. You would measure from the cornerstone upwards, stability, the foundation, a foundation of stone, the cornerstone, the builder. When you build the structure, they would reject stones if they weren't perfect for the cornerstone. The cornerstone was the most important piece. Acts 4:11. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, the letters of the Romans. What is it? Acts 4:11. Acts 4:11. This is the stone which was set at naught, of you builders, which has become the head of the corner. So this is all just referencing the cornerstone. 1 Corinthians 3:11. 1 Corinthians 3. 1 Corinthians 3:11. I guess we've covered this on the show before. Everything highlighted in this Bible, this is my show Bible. I have like a bunch of Bibles, but this is my show Bible. Everything highlighted in this Bible is stuff that we've talked about on the show before. So, Corinthians 3:11, for other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if any man build upon the foundation gold, silver, precious stone. Oh, I already read that. I already read this. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we already read this. My bad. I didn't know I wrote it down twice. Then Ephesians 2:20, we'll wrap it up with Ephesians 2. Well, we'll wrap this part up with Ephesians 2:20. Galatians and Ephesians, Corinthians, and that's the letters of Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians and Ephesians. Ephesians 2:22. Ephesians 2:22, in whom ye also are builded together for a habitation of God through the Spirit. So, in whom all the building, listen to this. Let's actually go back a few verses. For therefore, from verse 19, now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the households of God, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple in the Lord, in whom ye also are builded together for an habitation of God through the Spirit. Jesus Christ is the master builder. He's not just a carpenter who's making tables. He's the architecton. He's the master builder. Heart of stone. I'm going to keep coming back to that. Jesus shaping. Look at the these are the Zephizo. What is the meaning of the 6 stone jars at the wedding in Cana? So these are the limestone jars, similar, that they would have used right here. This is the Tekton. Wood is weak. Wood crumbles. Stone is strong. You don't make your house of wood. You don't make your house of hay. You make your house of stone. Last but not least, well, we have one last thing, and then we have an honorable mention from Seesaw, because we know that the temple, Solomon's temple, the temple to God, was probably mostly built of stone, but there was wood used. Genesis 2, verse 7. Let's just start with Genesis 2, but we'll focus on verse 7. We'll read 2, and then we'll read past 7 a little bit. Thus the heaven and earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And he built. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord made and the earth and the heavens, and every plant in the field before it was the earth, and every herb in the field before it grew. The Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. That's a whole nother road. If you guys ever want to hear about Noah's Ark and how people were able to live, I've talked about it before, but there's a reason people were able to live 900 years before the flood, and there's a reason people were confused when Noah started building a boat. And the firmament is mentioned, and I'm not a flat earther, and I do believe in the firmament. Anyway, that's a whole nother story for another day. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. Essentially a terrarium, right? It was a terrarium. Cedar, olive, and sycamore. I know, those are the woods that grow in Nazareth. Good job, buddy. That's not, you're not paying attention. But, and the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground. And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground. You mean he didn't make us out of cedar? You mean he didn't make us out of olive? Have you ever seen an olive tree? And also, the sycamore trees then were not like the sycamore trees in the redwood forests of America. So it's okay that you don't know what you're talking about, but it's fine. The Lord formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So we were made from dust. God built us and sculpted us from the dust. Isn't that interesting? Seesaw mentioned in a comment, Kings, I think it was 10. I can't remember what it was, but basically she was talking about the Temple of Solomon. He needed a certain amount of wood, so he actually had it shipped in from another place. Now, I don't know if that's like a great argument because I don't think the temple was in Nazareth, and we're talking about Nazareth. There's a Noah's Ark amusement park. I think it's in Tennessee or Kentucky. I saw a tour of it, and it looks cool. It does look cool. I'd like to go see it someday. So here for the people who gotta believe he's a carpenter because that's what they've been told their whole life, and understand the reason people get triggered by this is because they have a negative association with stonemasons and Freemasons. So when they hear that you say Jesus was probably more likely a stoneworker based off where and when he lived and what he talked about and how he spoke and the stories he told, and also I think Joseph was probably more of a stoneworker too, a Tekton, a builder, than a woodworker or a carpenter. But Jesus' true father is God, which is the master builder. So, of course, whether it was Joseph or God that we're talking about, everybody's like his father was a woodworker. So Jesus' father is God. What are you talking about? So, but the reason that people get triggered by this is because they have negative associations with stonemasons. So they think you're saying, oh, are you saying Jesus started the Freemasons? No, that's not what I'm saying. Don't be dumb. Don't be daft. Pay attention. The verse I gave you isn't a very good argument verse. Yeah, but it was interesting. It mentions how he needed like 10 tons of wood, and it had to be shipped in and delivered to him from somewhere else because there was no wood in the time. But he wasn't in Nazareth. He was in I forget where that was, but it was in the desert over there. To give a little bit of, to be fair to the people who can't possibly let go of this idea that Jesus was like making boats and doorways and tables. I will be fair. We'll look at this. So this is the climate. I don't know how valid the source is. It's a .org, so it's probably decently okay. But what was the climate and weather of Israel like in the time of Jesus? So this is going to support you guys' argument that apparently they lived in a rainforest, a redwood, sequoia tree forest, and they were just like loggers and lumberjacks out there. The climate in Palestine, both today and at the time of Jesus, has two distinct seasons. The wet or rainy season is the middle of October to the middle of April. The day of summer seasons last from the middle of June until the middle of September. It is quite dry in these months, and rainfall is very unusual. Although the temperature in summer can get very hot, it often does not feel this way. Cool breezes and low humidity are typical. So not a lot of water. The wet season, even still, not a lot of water. But this is current. We're going to go. Don't worry. I'll get you guys. I'll get you guys a little bit of something I guess you can use to argue it that he was a carpenter. Cool breezes and low humidity are typical, making the summers very pleasant, especially in areas directly on the coast or on the higher slopes of the hills. During these months, the sky is almost always cloudless and sunny. Throughout the summer, rain does fall because of the dominance of high pressure zones in the area. This provides challenges for farmers who have to develop special methods for trapping water during the rainy season. Oh, they have to trap water because it only rains for a little while a year. The rainy season does not feature rain every day, but there can be significant rains that can cause streams to flood from time to time. While it gets cool in the winter, the certain higher altitudes near Jerusalem and Bethlehem can even see snow. This is rare and limited to brief periods during December and January. Though the Bible mentions snow, it mostly described as being in the mountains to the north near Mount Hermon. The climate of the Holy Land varies from north to south and from east to west. Since the topography is varied, there can be dramatic differences within the span of just a few miles. Generally, there is more rain on the eastern part of Palestine, and it gets hotter the farther south you travel. The Dead Sea region and the area around Jericho are deep crevasses in pure desert. The mountainous region have more rain on the west side than on the east. Do you think they're going in the mountains for their logs? The hottest days of the year are during transitions between the two seasons. The climate of Israel in Jesus' time may not have been quite as warm and dry as it is today. This is the argument that Easy and some of them were making, that back then it was more lush and green. And I conceded that. That yes, it was probably more lush and green. And here's the argument you guys can make, is that the reason it's not so lush and green now is due to deforestation back then, which would support you guys' argument if you're like a climate change person and you believe in stuff like that. Several references in scripture would seem to imply that the land was wetter and more suitable for agriculture in the past, not requiring the significant irrigation prevalent in the Middle East now, for example. So here's Genesis 13:10. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. So this is Genesis 13. Is that pre-flood? Is Sodom and Gomorrah pre-flood? Lot, Cain and Abel, Lot. I forget. Seesaw, is Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah pre or post flood? Because this is not an argument. If this is pre-flood, this is not an argument. Exodus, and the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and I have heard their cry for reason. So this is Moses. So this is post-flood for sure, of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows, and I have come down to deliver them out of the land of Egypt, and to bring them out of that land into a good land, and a large unto a land flowing with milk and honey. Well, Jesus wasn't in Nazareth his whole life. You think while he was traveling around, you think while he was a nomad and he was traveling around and studying and learning, that he was like spending a lot of his time in a wood shop? Is that what you think? The Bible also describes Solomon's use of prodigious quantities of lumber to build the temple and many other buildings around 10th. So he did use lumber to build it. Oh my goodness, there's wood in the Bible. Land use studies throughout the Mediterranean, North Africa, and the Mideast show the prevalence of crops and forests, which were suited to cooler and wetter climates in the period before 1000. Lower Galilee, where Jesus lived most of his life, was Israel's lushest region, known for its sunny, temperate climate and its spring-watered lands. Each spring, the valleys and slopes became an ocean of wildflowers and blossoming trees. Beginning in March, the area was covered with a vast blanket of green. The fertile land was a texture of vineyards and fruit orchards. Grapes, figs, olives, pomegranates, oranges, and other fruits flourished in its pleasant subtropical climate. First century Jewish historian Flavius Josephus, who knew the area well, wrote in this book, its nature is wonderful as well as its beauty. Its soil is so fruitful that all sorts of trees can grow upon it, and the inhabitants accordingly plant all sorts of trees there. For the temper of the air is so well mixed that it agrees very well with those several spots. So this is supporting the Carpenter people. This is the argument supporting the Carpenter people, that there was trees and wood there. It was a lush area. So this is their best argument. I don't think it's enough to convince me, but there is an argument to be made that there could have been trees and wood there. I just think it's not the strongest argument. You wouldn't win a debate if this is all you have. If I just came with everything I came with to demonstrate through parables and what Christ said and God and being built of dust and the clay pots and the master builder and the cornerstone and la 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 la. And then all you can say is, well, they had trees back then. That's your argument? Come on now. As far as the temple of God, I did want to look into that. According to the Bible, King Solomon's temple was built using a variety of materials, including stone. The temple's foundation was laid with hewn stone, and the stones were carefully prepared and fabricated away from the construction site. 1 Kings 6:7 says that the temple was built in silence with no sounds of hammers, axes, or other iron tools. So they had to cut the stones somewhere else and bring them to the temple. Cedar. Solomon ordered large quantities of cedar wood from King Hiram of Tyre, and the temple also included side rooms attached to cedar beams and an inner sanctuary formed by cedar boards. So they did use cedar. They didn't get the cedar from Nazareth. They got the cedar from another king of Tyre because there wasn't enough cedar where Solomon was. That was Seesaw's point. That's a good point. The temple also included gold, silver, bronze, iron, onyx, and other precious stones, jewels, and marble. Let's look at it. Now, I don't know if this is Solomon's temple, but when we look at images of it, looks like it was primarily built of stone. Not a lot of wood in the area. Right. Yeah, that looks like a log cabin. Yeah, it looks like a log cabin. I'm sure they had they had way more carpentry going on than they did stonework. Okay. And I think with that, I'm going to rest my case. I think I rest my case. I don't just pull stuff out of thin air. I think my case is proven. Have you all heard of wood, brass, and steel? What is that, like a band? I think I rest my case. Case proven. Bible study over. We proved it. Without a doubt. I think I got a message while I was doing that. All right. Yeah, it's a band. I'm not convinced. All right, well, that's fine. I'll give you the nuanced take. He probably worked with wood and stone, actually. He probably was able to do both. I just think it's more likely he was doing more stone work than woodwork. Because it just makes sense. It just makes sense. The problem is, when somebody says something like this, it's probably more likely that Jesus did more stonework than woodwork. And when you freak out and say, blasphemy, heretic, not you, Matthew, but people will. People will. They'll lose their freaking minds because all their life they've been told one thing and they haven't really looked into it. If you look into it, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It seems like a mistranslation. It's not a mistranslation. It's not the best translation. Builder would be better. A better translation for Tekton would be builder, not carpenter. Carpenter can be, because builders often will do some carpentry, but I don't. And also, we could just take the cop out and say Jesus could probably do whatever he wanted. He could probably do any job. If he was born today, he could probably get a job at Tesla he'd probably do better than Elon at making robots. So we could do that argument, but I don't like doing the Jesus could do anything argument. Jesus was very good with his hands, according to the broad who followed them around. Sandor Clegane. The Hound. Isn't that the Hound? Or is that the Hound's brother? The Mountain. Is that the Mountain or the Hound? Sandor Clegane. Yeah, I'm sure he could make stuff out of wood. But the parables he told and the way he spoke seems like he leaned toward a builder or an architecton than he did a woodworker making tables and chairs. My Jesus is out building houses with rocks, carrying rocks and go boom and chiseling up rocks. Not freaking carving a decorative table. The Hound. Yeah. All right, guys. That's all I got to talk about. I guess I thought I was going to the airport as soon as the show was over. I guess I'm not. I guess we'll just start up a panel afterwards. I was gonna go pick her up. Something fishy's going on. Cause never mind, I'm not gonna. Invited you to their event. Let them know if you can make it. I don't know what that is. So invited you to their event. I'm the Christianist San. Christianist San. They use wood to make the forms for the stone. That's if they're pouring clay and making bricks. That's not how they did it in this area. They used chiseled limestone. You're talking about making bricks. You would use a sand form or a wooden form for the clay to make bricks. Only a name, like most Americans. How very Christian of you. See, Sal. Cornerstone is the last piece. No, Cornerstone's the first piece. I think you're talking about there is a cornerstone. I think that's the last piece, but the cornerstone is the first piece you place at the base to align your measurements and set up your measurements. And so you'd have a cornerstone at the four corners, and that's how you get straight walls. You're talking about the headstone or the capstone. That's the last one. On a dome or an arc. Yeah, if you're building an arc, the last piece, but I think that's called a capstone. Maybe it's also a cornerstone if you're making an arched roof. Then that middle piece is the strongest, has to be the strongest. So that would also be a cornerstone. So I think you're right and wrong at the same time. I might be wrong, but I remember seeing it. I think you're right and wrong. I think it can be both. It's either the first or the last piece, but cornerstone, I think they're talking about is the edge, the corners of the building, and then you build up and out from those to get your square of your structure. Keystone, yes. You're thinking of the keystone, Sal. That's the last piece that holds, like, locks everything together. That's what I was thinking of, the keystone. Anyway, I'm going to go, I guess, just end the stream and start up another stream. Go on a little walk. I don't know if I should make this pizza or wait till she gets here. I kind of want the pizza. Keystone Yarp. I was going to pick her up and then come here, throw a pizza in the oven. throw a pizza in the oven. That's code word, but no, that's not. I was really gonna make a pizza, and then eventually come on later. But I guess we'll just jump right back on after. This is not good. This is gonna cut into the thing tomorrow. I'm not gonna be able to do it. No way she's arriving at 3 a.m. if she hasn't even left yet. Yeah, there's no freaking way. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to end. I'll see you guys in like 20 minutes or something. Freaking floor. She's messing up the pizza plans. It's not her fault. I don't think. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Come back to the stream. Hold up. Where's the music? Come back to the stream in a short little bit. We'll do the Discord open panel. Hey, I got to research universal basic healthcare more and take notes. F it, we're doing it live. Hit the like button on your way out. Monday night, Dreadedconservative show. The world's a crazy place. I just report on it. I will see you guys in just a little bit for the after party live stream Discord where we will hang out until freaking floor's plane decides to work. I'll see you guys soon. I don't need an oven to put this pizza in. All right. Bye.